Our institutions have become corrupt. Unconstitutional agencies are infringing on your rights. Your liberty was secured by strong men and women of yesterday. We live in the age of disinformation and corporate propaganda. You're an American, born with unalienable rights. Yet those rights are being trampled every day by unelected busybodies. Welcome to the Dangerous Info Podcast with Jesse James and Outcast. Dangerous. Stay blessed in the battle.
Of course the Zionists weren't going to stop with just the Promised Land. They've been planning to take the whole Middle East since the 40s.
That a lot of Jewish people were against you too.
Well, there were a lot of Jewish people against me because they wanted the whole of Palestine. As I say, they wanted to drive all the Arabs into the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. Among the Jews, the Zionists particularly, who were against anything that was to be done if they couldn't have the whole of Palestine and everything handed to them on a silver plate so they wouldn't have to do anything. It couldn't be done. We had to take it in small doses. You can't move 5 or 6 million people out of a country and fill it up with 5 or 6 million more and expect both sets of them to be pleased.
Why else do you think every president's kissed the wall? Look at these clowns, man. They don't have any allegiance to America whatsoever. This is the illusion of a choice. Both sides serve the same master. Let's wake up.
Welcome to the strongest economy in American history, patriots. Yup. This is the lunacy they're gaslighting you with. You're listening to the Dangerous Info Podcast with Jesse James and Outcast.
All right, everybody, welcome on in to another Monday night. That's right, you guys. It is Monday, June 29th. It's the last Monday of the year, June, you guys. It's crazy. It's going so fast. That's right, you guys. Welcome to the spiritual and the cultural battle of our lives, where truth is dangerous and information is a weapon. That's right. This is the Dangerous Info Podcast. I am Jesse James, and he's Outcast. Look at him over there doing his pre-show prayer. Welcome to episode 276, you guys. We are the Time Bandits in the Spiritual Continuum. Outcast, I love the way that sounds, the way it looks. This is like the third or fourth time we've done this because we like to do this kind of thing when we hang out and we just get crazy with it, right? And that's what we're going to do tonight. We have a bunch of different topics. I will open the phone lines. If you guys want to call in, get your phones polished up. We'll take your phone calls too, because that's going to be a good one. Don't let me forget to put the phone number up on the screen here in just a little bit, all right? So somebody remind me. There's a bunch of you out there. I see you guys all rolling in here on the chats. Excellent. I see the chats are all, yep, they're all looking good, Outcast. And hey, brother, we got a good one tonight. We have a lot of different things that we're going to get into, but to kick it all off is a item of the week, Outcast, and it's your suggestion, and I'm glad you thought of it because it's a good one. I like it. I can't believe we didn't think about it sooner, right? With all these other videos and episodes that we've done. But anyway, how you doing? You blessed in the battle? I see that shirt, one of my favorite shirts you got on there.
I am blessed in the battle. Thank you. And I'm relishing in joy looking at the comments about Amber Dawn's daughter, Bella, who I'm not kidding you. I pray for you guys every day that she's going to be baptized and there's a baby on the way. Awesome. Oh man, it blows my mind, man. I love it. I just love it. Man, I'm scrolling through right now, looking through. I'm trying to put some stuff on the screen. Go ahead. Keep going. Oh, it's just crazy. Amber Dawn, came in here. I don't know how long ago now. It's been 6 months or a year or longer. I can't keep track, but she stole our hearts from the very beginning. And it's just great to see this journey and to be praying for people, to see results for those prayers and have them praying for us. And, oh, man, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just fills my heart with radical agape love. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Yeah, that's great. Music's here. Music lover, what's going on tonight? Yeah, tonight, Jack Pine, he won't be able to make it. He's got some prior things to take care of, some more important things to take care of. But he's going to listen tomorrow and he'll chime in. But I think who do we have? Well, we're going to be looking for
Trusty Turnip, and we'll be looking for Ms. Melody and whoever else shows up to moderate tonight. Welcome in everybody else too. So, Outcast, let's get into the item of the week because it's a good one. And what made you think of it? Because, we've done all these over all this time and we haven't thought of this book, and we've talked about it. It's been on the episodes in the past couple years.
I don't know. I was just one day I thought, hey, I think I need a copy of the Septuagint. So I went to one of my favorite websites, which is christianbook.com, books.com. And there were a few different copies, and there was a nice entry-level price point edition, and it had a good review on it. And I was just like, hey, what about this for the show? So it just, I think God downloaded it into my head. Yeah,
well, it's a good one. And you know what? When as soon as you sent it to me, I thought of Dr. Laura Singer. That's on our show all the time. And because she's always quoting from the Septuagint, right? And she always pulls reference from there. And I thought, that's perfect. So it was nice, nice little thing here. So let's get over to it right now. And so I can show you guys, this is the book right here, the Lexham English Septuagint. And that is our affiliate item of the week. It says the Lexham English Septuagint, the LES, is a new translation of the Septuagint, the Greek version of the Old Testament writings used during New Testament times and in the early church. Retaining the familiar forms of personal names and places, the LES gives readers the ability to read it alongside their favored English Bible. It's translated directly from Sweet's, is that right? Sweet's edition of the Septuagint. The LES maintains the meaning of the original text, making the Septuagint accessible to readers today. So there's a lot going on there. Would you call it a companion book to the Bible? That's kind of what I'm thinking of it as.
It's kind of like a concordance almost, but it's, you get very accurate translation from the original texts.
Okay.
So yeah, it's got a 4.7 review, star review. That's pretty good.
Yeah. 4.7, 827 reviews. So yeah, if you guys want to check that out, the link is right there. Is the very first link of under the description of this book, of this podcast episode. Right there, you'll see it, and you click to Amazon, and that is our affiliate item of the week this week. So excellent, and this has been going good, Outcast. I like hey, Miss Melody, she's in here. Hicktown's in here too. So these have been going good. And last week, our link was the entire list. So every week I keep updating it a little bit so that we build a nice big, a library of items is what I'm saying. So if you guys want to check that out, please click on that link right there at the top of the description down below. Excellent, Outcast. The affiliate item of the week. I like it. I can't wait to get my copy of it. And if you look behind me, I got the little TV fired up right now, Outcast. Guess what I have on? Independence Day, the DVD.
Oh, very timely.
Yes, because we are just next Saturday is the Independence Day right here.
I wonder if that's a clue. We're gonna have an alien invasion on Independence Day, or at least a fake one.
The Attack of the Demons, maybe.
yeah.
Well, you know what?
Demons.
Yeah, right. What I do have lined up this week, because this show, of course, right now, but our annual Independence Day extravaganza, celebrating 250 years of American history, featuring Good Patriot, Kate Daly, Chris Ann Hall, and JC Hall. That's remixed. I've remixed it, and it's coming July 1st. So at midnight, July 1st, that will be released. It's on audio only. There's no video for that. Because we did that back in 2021, I believe, Outcast, the original version of that. So every year I've been bringing it back up, tightening it up a little bit, cleaning up the audio and all that stuff. So that's you guys need to listen to that is what I'm saying. There's some good stuff in it. What do you see? Oh, Attack of the Fake and Gay Aliens. Yeah. That's, you got to add that too, I guess.
He called it Galians.
The Galians. There it is. Yeah, I like it. So what do you have? It says, join Jesse and Outcast for our annual 4th of July celebration featuring Good Patriot, Kate Daly, Chris Ann Hall, JC Hall. We explore forgotten chapters of American history, the principles that shaped the nation, and the stories behind the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the founding of the United States. So it's something that, we really like. Oh, the original air date was July 3rd, 2022. So go check that out. When it's going to come available midnight, July 1st. So on Wednesday, just over 2 days from now is what I'm saying. So it's going to be a good one. Hey, Outcast, with this movie that I'm playing behind me right now, it's Will Smith, Independence Day. Do you remember there was a really strange video or commercial 2 minutes something that came out, I don't know, within the last 5 years, particularly in the range of the when they delivered us the scamdemic. Do you guys remember? Anybody out there? It's like it shows him talking, Will Smith. It looks like he's on a beach, and then it switches, and it's like he's in an office room. I was gonna look for it, but maybe I can search for it, but it's gonna be tough. But
I vaguely remember it.
It's a very strange, he talks about going on vacation, and you can't always trust what your eyes are looking at. And as soon as he says that, it looks like he falls through something, and it goes to another scene. But it looks like AI before AI is what I'm saying.
Yeah, the more you explain it, the more it sounds familiar. Yeah, I think I remember that.
Hicktown Honey says that would track fireworks and UFOs for 4th of July. Yeah. So if anybody remembers what I'm talking about with this Will Smith commercial, I think it was a commercial, but I don't remember a product. That's the thing. It was like some sort of don't let your eyes deceive you or something. Remember, it was during the scamdemic stuff, so I don't remember that. Or what it was for, but I do remember the video. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because Independence Day. This video right here. Well, go ahead. Yeah, it's got him in it.
Well, it's ironic you're bringing that up because I just saw a video from Auntie Colette. If you guys remember, she was the one. She went viral after filming. She was in Vegas, I think, and she filmed the sun and then zoomed up on it, and it looked like
showed
it was pixelated.
Grid. Yeah, didn't it show like grid stuff, like
a honeycomb almost on it.
Yeah, like all the movies show when they shoot arrows in the sky and all that, and it shows like a reflection or I know what you're saying. Oh, all right, go ahead.
And she's been making videos ever since, and she's got a following. She's born again, and she tries to interpret her dreams. She does a lot of interesting stuff. But she said that when she was 19, she said Independence Day was an extremely closed set. And I don't remember the circumstances, but she was able to essentially squeeze onto the set through an acquaintance or something. And she had a terrible crush on Will Smith. And she had a picture of her, a 19-year-old version of herself with Will Smith. Dang. And she said later in history, when Facebook was brand new and celebrities didn't know how to set there wasn't a real rule yet about how celebrities should set their Facebook. So it's limited to how people can interact with you. Mm-hmm. He was accessible to everybody. And she sent him a picture and said, "Do you remember me?" And he said, "Oh yeah, I remember you." And she said he was very nice, but now she knows too much about Hollywood and even him. And it kind of ruins it. But she said when one of the pieces of advice that he offered her back then, when he had a little bit of a conversation with her was, keep your guard up and don't, something to the effect of, don't let anybody here in Hollywood deceive you, or, he was trying to warn her to watch yourself because there's predators everywhere, essentially. Yeah, I get it. Take on it.
Hicktown Honey just nailed it about this I forgot.
Auntie Colette.
Auntie
Colette, I think.
Yeah. Hicktown, she nailed it. She says she is so new age. I get bad vibes from her. I was the same way with her. And
a little bit.
Whatever she's doing to her face or filters or something is just. It's
a filter. It's a filter. Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think.
Something's going on there, but I know what you mean. She says
there's something new agey about her. I don't know, man. She's weird. She's an interesting bird. Yeah.
She brings up a lot of good things. But it's like the angles that she goes on them. It makes me rub my head. Like, what the heck is this? And then right here, Ms. Melody, she says, Auntie Colette, the one that made a few false prophecies. That
I wasn't paying close enough attention to get deceived by that, but I believe you.
I believe it too, because some things, her prophecies. I don't know is that what the right word? We're going to call it prophecy, whatever. But yeah, she's nailed some and she's missed some. There's a real odd thing with her. Is what I'm saying.
I know,
it's like something with her eyes or that filter or whatever it is. I don't know, her chin or I don't know. She looks alienish. Or
don't
something.
Forget yeah. Well, she's claiming now she's Rh negative, so that might explain it too. So,
oh boy, so are you?
But she has these. She takes these old doors and she illustrates on them, and it's this bizarre, just like train of thought drawings. That's based on her dreams and biblical prophecy and stuff. I'm an artist to an extent. I mean, I do a lot of artwork. I can appreciate stuff that has a lot of complexity and fluidness to its concepts. but there's something about it that sends my red flag off too. I'm like, man, I don't know why, but this art does not wash with me. There's something.
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's like she's like Hunter Biden. She found some new art. She became an artist. Outcast.
There's that, but there's also there's an aspect where sometimes I worry that it's a little bit like self-importance,
aggrandizement. Is that
yeah,
the word?
something. I can't, man. But
Grandiose.
yes,
I know what you mean.
and I can't watch the entire length of most of her videos, but I still follow her, and she pops up once in a while. I hear what she has to say.
Yeah, I think I do too. And it's like she gets a little long in the tooth. I mean, I'm sure we all do, but she gets a little long in the tooth, and it's like, come on, let's get with it. And I know I do all that too, but I'm not trying to portray false stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah, same. There's one thing like I feel like I get a word from God once in a while, but to me, what I worry about is I'm wondering if she is in a self-delusion, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like she has convinced herself of her, I don't know, small deity of herself. Like I'm a little God, and I'm privy to info, and this is, I don't know, just thinking out loud.
Right here, Ms. Melody says, I think there was something along the lines that she said something was going to happen by a certain date and it didn't happen. Yeah, I think that's it too. That's called date fagging. Don't do that. That's why whenever I catch myself starting to put dates on stuff, it's like, whoa, hold on. I'll still call out 2030. That's some sort of little bit of date fagging by me, but whatever. But to put on dates or just give it like an awareness. That's more of what I would like to do. She says the own self-importance. Amber Dawn says, hey, Shelly Pollock's out there in the chat now too. So, it's crazy. So that's tonight's video behind my head. It is the Independence Day DVD from I don't know what year it is. What year is this? It's too small for me to see right now and dark in here. But, was it like 1997, something like that?
And that's where my brain was going, 98 or something like that. I gotta find out.
Yeah, it was a good show. It was kind of funny, but if we only knew back then what we know right now, and that alien invasion and all that stuff, so it's kind of relevant too. With this week also, Independence Day coming up on Saturday, so it's all kinds of craziness out there. Outcast going on.
1996, Jesse.
96. I was a year off. Okay. Makes it even better. It's a year older. The Ring girl. So, the little girl from the movie, The Ring.
Yes.
You just reminded me that she had just passed away. There was something that we shared going on there. And I was like, man, the Ring girl. She was the one that was dressed up. She came through the TV and all that stuff. Right. And she was, came out of the well and all that. Bring us up to speed a little bit.
Well, prior to that, she was a child actress. I don't know if she did stuff for Nickelodeon or Disney or who, but she was a child star, and she won some award when she was just a very pretty young girl. And she just passed away. I think she was on the streets of LA, homeless, drug addicted, and she passed away at the age of 34, 35, something like that.
Holy cow, she's already that age.
Yeah, and but when you go back in the Wayback Machine, there's video of her accepting her award, and if you really analyze the video at her young age, I don't know if she was 12 or how old she was, but she looks like she is drugged out of her mind.
Yeah,
and right behind her is
weird.
Yeah, and right behind her, who is it? Will Smith and Ashton Kutcher. And then there's pictures of them. That night they invited her back to Diddy's mansion to party.
Yeah.
Ashton Kutcher in particular is taking pictures with it. I mean, knowing what we know now, to me, it looks obvious to me that they are enamored with this young girl's beauty. Like her innocence and beauty is something that they cannot resist. They are just like pawing at her. That might be a little bit
very
of an exaggeration.
Yes.
But when you put it all together in a blender and with the luxury of hindsight, and you're just like, holy crap, this is creepy as all get out.
Yeah.
And don't forget, there's, Ashton Kutcher was on that 70s show. Danny Masterson was on that 70s show. Danny Masterson's already been convicted of, I think he was drugging women or something, or he was sexually assaulting women.
There were two people from that show that are under. Was it Valderrama that?
Him too?
I thought.
Okay.
There was two people. I don't know if it was actors or in production, but there was two people. Two dudes, I believe, that were caught up in some child stuff. So yeah, it's crazy. She said, so demonic. This is Amber Dawn. So demonic to put children in pictures that horrible. Well, look,
That's true too. Yeah.
I dare you to look up what happened to that little girl, that little blonde girl on Steven Spielberg's movie, the Poltergeist. Look up what happened to her. She just goes away one day, and read the connections between her and Spielberg. There's something crazy going on. Brittany Murphy, I just learned there's something she was taken out. Brittany Murphy knew some things. All right.
Wasn't she the one her husband died the exact same way shortly after?
Yeah. Yeah. There was something odd there. And I think it got past most people before, all these mysterious deaths and all these things. But she was one of them. She was calling out some stuff. She was not liking things that she was finding in Hollywood. And she had to go. Think of Michael Jackson, Prince, and all of them. Yeah.
And then Brittany Murphy's her husband died shortly after, this exact same way she died, in the same house.
It's wild. Yeah, she's got a friend. She's got a friend out right now. Oh man, who is that friend that's out there kind of yapping about what happened? I can't remember.
Do you Jesse, if I present it as news and or for entertainment purposes only, do you want me to touch on the poltergeist thing a little bit?
Yes, I do. Yep.
You do?
Look at that. How'd that happen?
I don't know.
Did you see that?
I saw it. Yeah. I'm not going to get in trouble if I present it as entertainment purposes only, right?
No, everything here is allegedly and for entertainment purposes only. But yeah, go ahead with the poltergeist, because I've heard quite a bit, but I want to hear your angle.
Well, going back from COVID times when everybody was digging deep and going down the rabbit hole about all that goes on in Hollywood, I still have it saved in my phone. There is a meme that is supposedly a quote from Macaulay Culkin. I don't know if it's verifiable or not, but and I'm paraphrasing greatly, but he said essentially when he was filming Home Alone 2 in New York City, he was called into a very high level Hollywood executive's office where he was kind of like sexually intimidated. The guy licked his lips and told him that he was handsome and all kinds of weird, creepy stuff. And then at one point, this whoever this person is pointed to their red leather shoes and said, "Do you like my shoes?"
Red.
And he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, they're nice. What about it?" And he's like, "Do you remember Carolyn? What was her name? Carolyn, the girl from Poltergeist."
Yeah, the little Carolyn girl.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of her real name.
Caroline, wasn't it?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Oh, that Caroline's in the movie. No, her real name is something else. But regardless, he said, and he said, "Yeah, I remember her. She's really cute." Because that's what Macaulay Culkin said about her. He thought she was cute. She goes, "Yeah, she was cute." And he implied, after she had died, that he said, "Well, if you like my shoes, you'll know where I got them," or something like that. Oh. Macaulay Culkin said that he threw up on his shoes. He threw up because
you're talking about the red shoe club. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's remember those photos of those old men all wearing red shoes, and Bill Maher is one of them. He was one of them wearing those red leather shoes. Holy crap, man. Yeah, we've heard a lot about that. That is a deep rabbit hole. I totally forgot about that. Didn't they call themselves the red shoe gang or the red shoe something?
Club? This is the red shoe club.
Yeah, it might have been that.
I think so. Or that was maybe what was nicknamed. It might have been moniker.
Yeah, I think we called it like that. Yeah. Out here. Ms. Melody says Ashton Kutcher and Diddy were involved with Brittany Murphy. Yeah, I believe that too. Yep. It seems like I think
Brittany Murphy, she threatened them that she was going to blow the lid off of what they were doing.
Okay, so you brought up Ashton Kutcher, and if we go back a few years, probably just after we started this podcast, I know we were already doing the podcast, but it was very, very early on, and it was probably around one of the first times that we had Dr. Sean Brooks on. And it was somewhere in that area. It had to be late 21, early 22. And I started doing a little bit of research. There was a lot of schools getting busted. Public education, government schools, mind control schools getting busted. Remember when they talked about, because there was a lot of groups involved with schools. I want to say some like nonprofit organizations and groups that were all over the country, and they still are. There's some of them have been busted doing things, human transportation type of stuff and all these things. But there was something that I looked into, and I never brought it up because I was thinking, well, it was the way down here on the totem pole at the time. But now that we brought up Ashton Kutcher today, it brought it right to the back of my head, or back to my forefront here. There is some, I'm hoping somebody in the chat will help me out with this, but Ashton Kutcher and maybe one or two or a few other celebrity Hollywood types are owners or did own something that is affiliated with schools, some sort of a program. His name is on it. It could be what's her name? The wife that
Mila Kunis?
No, the other one. She was married to Lethal Weapon or Die Harder. Bruce Willis. What's Bruce Willis's wife?
Oh, Demi Moore.
Demi Moore. That's it. So Ashton Kutcher and I think Demi Moore, and there was something that they were part of or owned, something that had to do with public schools, public education. And it didn't make any sense to me. But like I said, at the time, there was just so much other stuff going on because we were just in the middle of the pandemic scam and all these things. Demi Moore, you guys, thank you. Outcast. And if somebody out there if you can make a connection, because the reason that I found that important is my daughters were still in school, or at least one of them was still in the high school. So I got to look and I was like, wait a minute, our school here locally is affiliated with that group. Why? And then I started reading up on the ownership of that group. I said, I sent it to somebody, maybe remember Sandy V. Remember that? I think I sent it to her. I said, hey, will you please look this up? I think there's something going on with Ashton Kutcher and with this program at our school. And there was, his name was attached to the ownership of that.
Jeez.
So there was a connection. Now, I don't know if that's still going on. Like I said, that was a few years ago. It's kind of crazy. But if anybody can find something out there while the show is going tonight, just put it in the chats and I can put up there. That would help me out and clear my head. Now that's going to be on my mind. What was the affiliation between that group? I want to say it was sort of like a nonprofit or some sort of a help type of thing. Ashton Kutcher was part of ownership of that. Well, with government education. Let's see here. Ms. Melody's over on the Rumble chat. She says the SV Academy through Sound Ventures. Let me see. Ashton has an anti-trafficking cause that he runs, maybe to do with that. Okay, maybe
yes.
That's Hicktown Honey saying that. What's that?
I remember that. Yes, he is. The irony of the whole thing is that he started he came out like he was anti-trafficking and he was concerned and he started some kind of an anti-trafficking thing. But then when the implications are that he's involved, it just makes sense. Okay,
but let me tell you something about this anti-trafficking thing that's going on. That is really, really big in the realm of TPUSA. Huge. Just after or right before they took Charlie Kirk out. Okay. Because of all these people that Erica brought in around the TP faith, TPUSA faith people, all the pastors and all that she brought in. For some reason, they're all involved with human transportation. Why?
Yeah, and all of their charity work is centered out of Romania, I believe, which is interesting because there's orphan problems. There's orphan problems all over the world. But there's something in Romania that makes it advantageous to work out of there, maybe. But I mean, there's children here in the United States, there's children in Africa, there's children but yet everything with TPUSA and Erica Kirk is centered around Romania and her pastor friends.
Right.
It's very suspect.
Music Lover is wondering if Ashton Kutcher there was blackmailed and is trying to atone. I don't know. We do know that a lot of these people, like CPS, child whatever that child services protection or whatever that is, CPS, right? Child Protection Services.
Yeah. Yes.
The biggest human traffickers in the country.
I was thinking along the same lines. Yes.
Yeah. So you got to.
And a thought too. With Ashton, for example, I find him very likable as an actor. I find him relatable and actor, likable.
Yeah, very charismatic. Yep.
Yes, but that's their talent. That's the people that they look for, is the people that can come across as the most relatable, the most human, the most, that's what they need. That's what makes them great actors.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something that haunts me a little bit, because some of these actors are so likable, and everything you learn is the opposite. I mean, they told us Michael Jackson was crazy, and it turns out he was the one fighting the crazy. Everything that they accuse people of is what they're doing. It's wild, and everybody they sell us as being a good guy is a bad guy, and everybody that's a bad guy is a good guy. It's
Yeah.
all inverted.
Yeah. Hey, Marie Locke, she says, "Ooh, this sounds good. Just want to say hi as usual. I will listen tomorrow." So, she's over on Facebook. Marie Locke, thank you so much. Isaac Cappy, another one. Remember all the Isaac Cappy stuff? So throw him right in there. And you remember they threw him off of a bridge. And what was that? Something was that Route 66? I know there's a number 66.
Yeah,
off the bridge,
it was. It was if it wasn't Route 66, it was another notable highway like it. And he was not only did he supposedly jump off the bridge, but then he jumped right in line of a truck that came by and ran him over too. So it was a double whammy.
Yeah.
And just mere days, if not a week before his death, he was saying he's not suicidal and that they were coming for him. He said all of it. Yep.
Yeah. He said they were coming for him. Charlie said that too. Charlie Kirk said the same thing. They were coming for him. Ms. Melody says SV Academy was a vocational tech program that he was invested in. That's Kutcher. He also had something to do with donor's choice. Okay. That's sounding familiar to me, is donor's choice. So yeah, there's something there. There was a name of something, and it sounds like donor's choice is ringing a bell with me. But I'm not going to remember it right now. I would have to go back into my notes and look and see, but I don't know. We just stumbled upon this kind of stuff, you guys, and I just wanted to bring it up. I don't know how we ended up here, Outcast. Hey, this is the Time Bandit show. We're stuck in the spiritual continuum, right?
Yes. Yes.
We have to get to some other stuff. So yeah, we got the Ring Girl. You want to hear something really cool? I'm just looking over stuff here. We have to do CERN, the CERN article. We have to do this secret weapons of Lyme disease and biological weapons. I mean, secret history of that stuff. You have a camping adventure.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess you call that.
You do. Well, unless you wanted to add anything more, because you did the Poltergeist movie and you broke that stuff down, the Ring Girl and all that. Okay. So your shirt, I really like that shirt, you guys. That is Roddy Piper and a newscaster. Yeah, that's right. That is from the Live movie. What, 1988?
Yeah. So the funny thing is, it actually was Ed McMahon, I think, from WWF.
Yes.
And Roddy Piper, when he's a wrestler, but they changed the head out for the They Live head.
Yep.
And then I think it'd be hilarious to put your head on Roddy Piper's head.
Well, you did that you did that. So before AI came out, you did that somehow. I can't remember what app you did that on, but it was my face on that guy, on Roddy Piper. That was funny. Oh, that's a good shirt. Good movie too. You guys should watch that. I wonder if I have that anywhere. 1988. I might have a tape of it over there somewhere. I'll have to look.
You need that.
Yeah. All right. So let's. So your camping adventure this weekend. You went camping at a place where I grew up in the town where this is at, and it's a great little camp area. It's really cool. It's changed a little bit over the years, but there's little cabins out there. There's a lake. There's Fort Pontiac. There's fire pits. I mean, trails. It's really cool. I like it. Hilly, very wooded, and it's set back in there. And it's really, it's not like it's hidden away. I doubt you're gonna find a Bigfoot in there. Maybe, but. Tell me, what was that all about? Because you have a good story that came out of there too.
Well, now you mentioned it, there was I'm going to tell you lots of little details because there was some weird stuff I didn't tell you yet. But at night, man, where we were camped, it was pitch black. I mean, you could not see your hand in front of your face in the woods with the lights out without a flashlight. It was unbelievably dark back there, and it was almost a full moon, but the moon was behind the trees or something. And it was really low, and there was no light. But anyways, so let's see the backstory here. So, the drummer for my last band is a really nice individual. I love him dearly. He's a very sweet, gentle guy, and he is his wife is awesome too. She's a sweetheart, very fun people. They had a reception party camp out. So imagine, this guy's he's got dreads down to past his butt. Yep. He's a white guy with dreads, and he's got the bullet belts and the studs, and he's a what we'd call a crusty punk guy, but he's an awesome dude. I love him dearly. And we said, we're coming to we're coming to the reception. We're going to come and hang out. And, it's a little daunting when I don't go out and hang out in those circles anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm a Christian now, and I don't want to hide. So I wore my favorite cross hat that I'm always wearing on the show with the little scenery on it.
Oh yeah.
So
that's a good one.
So yeah, but because I'm an older punk, I'm 55, and these kids are like 35 and 35ish and younger. They're not going to try to fight me or yell at me or anything. They're going to be respectful. So they have to tolerate that stuff. And everybody was cool. And I talked to a lot of old friends, people I haven't seen in a while. And it was wonderful. I got to do a little Nephilim red pill with the groom's sister. I ended up sitting next to his sister, eating dinner, and they found out that he came from a Christian family. But my sense was it was stereotypical kind of bland Christianity where they don't go real deep. It's kind of surfacey, not just a guess. It's not really fair to say, but it's a vibe I got from talking to her. So I introduced her piece by piece to the Seed War and the Nephilim. So couldn't help myself there.
Oh boy.
And she was like, wow, it's like, she was essentially saying it was a fire hose of information, but she found it interesting, and she did seem to be into it. So I did that. And like I said, I had other conversations similar to that. But as night fell,
hang on a minute.
I was no real, super stimulating conversations for me to get into with people. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of these people are great and they're nice to talk to, but it's just very surfacey when people are drinking and they don't want to get deep. And I'm sitting there, and I look across the fire pit, and there's a guy that I know from Instagram and also from his band. He plays in a couple different. One is a black metal band, and one is a power violence band, they call it, which is like a super fast, aggressive hardcore. And his name's Jack. And he looks at me, and I look at him, and I wave at him, and he's like, "Oh man, Jason Outcast." I was like, "Yeah." And we come over, we hug, and I sit down and talk to him, and come to find out, I hope he doesn't mind. I told him about the podcast, so if he's listening, I don't think he'll mind. But he had been struggling with a very serious drug addiction for a long time, and he went to his dad spent money that he didn't have, pretty much, to send him to a Mexican drug rehab where they put IVs in you and they clean your blood of all the opioids and stuff that make you addicted.
You talk Mexican. Are you saying in Mexico?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So he went to Mexico to this.
Okay.
And now this is where it gets a little dicey in my mind. But I'm not, the verdict's not out yet. And I'm going to continue to cultivate a friendship with him, because we've already been talking on Instagram quite a bit. But I think he said something that was a little disturbing to me, but I can understand how he wound up in this situation. But in the process of detoxing him, they gave him a version of DMT, which is like a synthetic version of ayahuasca. And he had a profoundly spiritual encounter with other beings, clear as a bell, right in front of his face. He saw I think if I remember correctly, he said it was like an alligator man, and it got right in his face. He saw these beings that were just shiny black, like venoms, shiny black beings. He saw beings of light.
He saw border croc.
Yeah, I think so.
Dang.
Yeah, exactly. So, but he didn't say, he was like, and he was visibly affected by this. Like his eyes were tearing up, and I just started preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ to him, because I wanted to. And I told him, I said, listen, from my understanding, I said, there is a first heaven, which is the skies that we see above us, and there's second heaven, and that is where there is a ongoing battle between demonics. I didn't want to make him scared of that he did something wrong, and I said, there's a battle between light, God's angelics and demonic beings. And I said, I believe that you saw what you saw, and I believe that you were there. I have no doubt about it. I said, but I'm just, be careful, because there's about what you expose yourself to. It was really interesting conversation. I said, but that is not the throne room of God. You did not see the throne room of God.
Right.
So he allowed me to talk freely and candidly about Jesus, and he was very receptive and open to.
Dang, I don't know why he keeps cutting out like that.
What's that? I'm cutting out.
Yeah, you're back.
Am I back?
Good. He said,
"Oh, interesting."
He said, "What now?"
Interesting. I cut out. Interesting. I cut out at that point, isn't it?
Right then. Yeah.
Where did I leave off?
That you didn't want to scare him with the demonic kind of stuff, but does he realize what he was messing with there or not?
So I was trying to politely and lovingly inform him And
Okay.
I said, listen, there's the first heaven, which is what you see with your eyes. There's a second heaven where it's a battleground between the
Yeah.
angelics and
Yeah, you're good there.
you know,
We heard all that. Okay.
okay. And then it said, but you were not in the throne room of God. You did
Right.
not encounter God, and per se. But he did believe that he encountered Jesus in this encounter.
Oh, wow.
Now, if you listen to some of the blurry creatures, there's a guy who talks about this. It's possible there is there's a false Jesus that lingers in that second heaven. Regardless, he had a profoundly spiritual experience, and he was deeply affected by it. He said he felt a love and an empathy for his fellow man that he's never felt before in his life.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, his eyes were tearing up, and we talked for hours. He's a beautiful guy. I love him. I love him as a brother in Christ already. I'm going to continue to be friends with him and cultivate this relationship so I can help guide him in case he did expose himself to something with that ayahuasca trip. Essentially was what it was, that could, so he knows to pray up against it and understand that. So it's just now starting, but the two of us talked for probably 2 hours around the bonfire. And he was just like, I'm so grateful. I feel like God put us together tonight because he was filled with anxiety because he's drug free and he was going to be around people drinking and maybe doing some drugs. So he didn't want to be triggered or anything. So he had a lot of anxiety. So I helped quell that with our conversation. And I told him, I said, I'm grateful for you too, because I'm not drinking and it's great to have a conversation with somebody else that I can talk about this kind of stuff. So, I hope, I don't think he'll be offended by anything I'm saying, because we went deep in all the conversations because I told him about the podcast, but if you guys feel like it, please pray for Jack. And who knows, maybe someday he'll end up in the chats here with us.
Okay.
But like I say, he's a great guy. And like I said, my heart was just filled with love for him. And I knew right when he sat down, I saw him and I pointed at him like, oh, and he's like, and I didn't know that when I started talking to him, it was going to unravel, this story was going to unfold in front of me
out like
his
that.
journey. Yeah, it was very interesting. He was, I'll leave it there. But some really strange little anomalies though, about being out in the woods like that. There's these new fireflies. I've seen them around my house too. And Jesse, I mentioned to you too. Go ahead.
Amber Dawn says, Outcast, your time of evangelism has given me boldness to give the gospel to the homeless and addicts around here in Georgia. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you for letting me know that. That's amazing.
Okay.
People are hungry, Amber Dawn. People are starving for the gospel. What life has given them is nothing that they need, and they know it. We talked about that too. Jack and I did. I said, all these people that we know, but they're running. Does music fit in this hole? No, not quite. Drugs, sex, gambling, everything, just one thing after another, and nothing seems to fit. The only thing that fits in that hole is the shape of Jesus, and that's what everybody's searching. And he's realizing that now too. Like his whole life, he's been struggling with drug addictions, and watching his life, fall into ruins. And he met the end of himself in this process of being detoxed. And so, we can all be a little misled in the beginning by stuff. And like I said, I didn't really get super deep with him about this experience in the second heaven, but he did talk about a lizard or a reptile face guy. And he did talk about these black beings. So I'm a little concerned that he was exposed, but
he saw some things, man. he definitely saw some stuff.
He saw some stuff for real, and he was deeply affected by it. He really was. Now, back onto my experiences. So, Jesse, you've seen him too. Maybe some of our listeners have seen this, and I don't know. Maybe it's a seasonal thing with the way the amount of waterfall we have, or maybe it's because they're spraying the skies with heavy metals. But I'm seeing these new fireflies, and they're not burning a yellow, ambery, like a greenish yellow, and then that blinks and then fades down. These are a flash, like a light bulb of pure white light. Bink, bink. Like
I've been seeing them.
I saw them, and I saw them in the tops of these huge oak trees, which usually fireflies are down low.
Hang on. Are you saying you saw them at the camp, not at your house?
Both, but at the camp I saw a bunch.
Because I'm close to that camp right here, and I see the same thing that you're seeing. And I said something to the wife the other day about it. Keep going.
It's really weird. I don't know. I've my whole life I've never seen it. Makes me think of CERN because it's so strange. It's like how it'd be different if I heard this narrative. Yeah, some years the fireflies burn bright light, and sometimes they're bright white, and sometimes they burn yellow, and sometimes they burn green. I've never heard anything like that. Fireflies have always been the exact same color my entire life. Yes, it's a white light, and it flashes like a camera. Psh, psh,
yeah.
psh.
Yeah.
And they're in the trees. They were high up in the trees, which normally they're low, like a firefly would be lower.
Yeah, you can run and catch them. Yep.
Yep. No, and I can't even see what I'm looking at, but all I know is I'm looking at, and my wife saw him too. I was like, so I know I'm not crazy. I'm like, do you see that? And she's like, yeah, what is that? I'm like, I've been seeing it at the house too. There's like a little burst of light. It's very odd.
It's
and like
the
I said, with all this, yeah,
Fairies.
well, or with all this CERN talk, it makes me wonder what's out there too, or who knows?
Yeah.
And I did hear some weird noises in the night, and I had insomnia. I didn't sleep real good in the tent, and I will say I heard something that was very similar to a wood knock.
Oh,
like
yes.
I'm not kidding you. It was
awesome.
loud. It was so loud. Now there's other dark. It was like all I could hear were a bazillion bullfrogs. It was so loud with bullfrogs.
Yeah. That little
and
lake. You're right. 2 lakes right there. The 2 little lakes. Yep. Okay.
And they're filled with donkeys, giant bass.
I know, big old donkeys. I know.
I saw this huge one jump out of the water when I was there. It was humongous. But so I'm going to say it was about 2:30 in the morning. I heard this, it was like this snap, this loud crack, and I could not figure out. And I was like, that's weird. Yeah. And I listened some more, and then a little while later, I heard 3 sounds that sounded like a baseball bat smacking a pie tin. A pie tin. So it's like
okay. So that's a medley sound.
Yes. It was like, and then I was like, what was that? And then a little bit later, like I'm talking 5 minutes later, another one. I heard 3 of them. And then
you heard Bigfoot coming out of a portal in the woods.
I don't, maybe I don't know what was going on. I'm not saying I had a Bigfoot encounter. I'm not going there, but and nobody will believe me. I told my wife, and she's like, whatever. And I'm like, I heard these. I mean, I'm not saying they were Bigfoot. I'm just saying I heard weird. No, she was.
All right. Well, where you back up where you were, it backs up.
That point, but I heard weird noises up there.
It backs up to the private lake on the one side. And if you go to the other side where it goes higher up the hill, that's all vacant brush, marshy, high land. There's no houses back there. The only spot there where the houses are very up front by the road. But where you're at, when you go way back there, like I said, it gets hilly and everything, huge mature trees and all this stuff.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's very nice back there, but it's very quiet. And so when you go off that property in the back, I don't know what's back there. I know there's no houses back there because I've been around the back side of it before, back in my high school days. It's nuts, man. I'm telling you, there's something.
Dude, it was the blackest. I grew up with woods in my backyard. I really did. This was the blackest black I've ever experienced in my life, being back in those woods. Mm-hmm. Like at one point, for the fun of it, we were walking back from the bathrooms. I turned my flashlight off with my wife, and she's like, "Don't do that. I'm going to fall on my face." I mean, it was like you could not see your hand in front of your face.
Yeah, yeah. We got some. Shelly Pollock says, "Anyone heard of a fairy ring?" Yes,
I have heard of it, but I don't know. I'm not educated on them. If there's, Shelly, is that something where you would see bright lights like that, little tiny flashing lights that Jesse and I are seeing? I'm telling you, this is new. I have never seen these before, and I've been seeing them all summer long here. Yeah. Not a ton of them. I'm not talking about. It's not like a bunch, but it's like multiples a night. Oh, another weird thing, Jesse. I got to say this. A week ago, I was up in Bay City.
Yep.
And I was stargazing, and I saw like at least 5 quote unquote satellites, if that's what they are, converge on each other at the same time. I was like, what is going on? And then shortly after that, I saw a falling star. Oof. 1 week later to the date, I'm momentarily stargazing while I'm around the bonfire, just looking up. I saw, immediately I look up, I spot a satellite, if that's what they are, moving stars. Look up again, another satellite, and then I see another falling star. I've seen 2 falling stars a week apart. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen a falling star in 25 years, I don't think.
So I go, she said, "Oh, Outcast, you need the solar lamp." Yes, you did.
Yeah, I did.
The one that we did last week. Yeah.
Yes. I did have a solar lamp with me, by the way. I really did. My solar lamp has a little fan on it too. It's kind of junky. It's not made great, but that's solar powered. It has a lamp and it has a fan on it. Yeah.
Well, I got a link for you. It goes right to our Amazon affiliate program. So if you want, that's funny. Yeah. Talking about the stars, like you're saying, or something up there. I go out every night just before bed to take the dog out, run them around a little bit. I look at the chicken coop, make sure that's all good, and secure and everything. But when I'm out there, I have a really long driveway, right? So I get in the middle of the driveway and I walk back and I just look up. And, every night I'm looking up there at the same time. It's dark. It's probably around 9:30 or 10, somewhere in there. And I've been seeing things too out there. Now, I tracked one. Like every night I can track something just moving up there. And it's not planes. It's way higher than planes and way faster. When a plane does go by, we have a couple of airports, Detroit and Flint. So when I see those planes go by, and they're not anywhere as fast or as high as those. Plus, they have blinking lights.
Yes. So another thing, and now you mentioned it, when I was up at that campground, I looked up and I saw a moving, or I saw a satellite moving. Okay, and then it got really bright, like it flared out bright, and then went right back down to a star and kept moving.
Yep.
I've never seen that before.
I see those
and
too.
I was like. And at first I was like, wait a minute, is that a plane going to blink, consecutively blink? Nope. It just did it once.
It got bright. Flare. Yeah.
Yep. And then another one I saw, it moved for a while and then it changed course a little bit, which they just go straight.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you about the one I saw.
There's a bunch of crap moving in the sky. I'm telling
you. I know there is. There is a guy that I listened to on a podcast a couple weeks ago. He's a ex-military. And I've got a few friends that kind of told me the same thing. They were in Iraq back in the early 90s. And this guy said that you can take, if you got the military, night vision, the NVGs, during the day, during the night, whatever it is, just put those on and look up. He said you can even do it with the binocular, but it won't be as strong. But if you got those night vision goggles, he says there is so much movement. There's everything is up there. There's so many things up there. He says there's a lot of things that look organic flying around up there too. And these are not clouds. He said there's like organic things that are, bringing other things into it and taking things out of it. He said there's just so many things that he can see through those military NVGs that we will never see.
Was he implying that they are military tech, or did he have an opinion of what they were?
He didn't know. He says flying that high, he's not sure. He says he does know about the military tech that, they're at least 30 to 50 years ahead of everything that we see and are, allowed to look at in the public out here. But he's like, dude, there's so much out there that we won't know until we get old, and then another 30 years. And then, it's just, he says, we're so far behind as a public knowledge out here in the out here in the area. But the military has so many things that we'll never know about until, it's too late and they got something else. But they're going back to what you said. I was tracking a couple, moving star satellites, whatever these things are. And I was watching one in particular because it was pretty bright. And it was just cruising along kind of from south to north. And I'm just watching it, waiting for the dog. And, I'm looking up. And then this thing makes a hard left to the east. Hard. And I'm talking a 90 degree, not a curve, not a slight curve like a plane or everything. This like a corner. It just straight up corner. And it just started heading east. I was like, well, yep, of course. Why not? Why not?
Right.
Whatever was in that, if it was a human in that, they're dead. There's unless it's a, anti-gravitic machine where there's no gravity pulling or messing with that around there. They have that too. So it's crazy, man. I don't know what we're seeing up there, but it's going to be a great time when we do find out.
Like I said, each time I got a little out of the city to do some stargazing, I am seeing stuff like crazy. I mean, I see it in my backyard too, but man, it's. I mean, I'm not going to sit there with my neck like this for a long time. It's going to hurt my neck. I mean, I'm just glancing for a minute at a time.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm spotting something every time I look up.
Usually when I do it, I'll lean up against my truck. It's somewhere out there in the park or in the driveway or a tree or something. That way I can really, keep a head out there. If I'm walking like that with the dog, it's not good. Run into stuff. But lean back on something when you do that next time. I'll do it tonight when I go. I think we have a clear sky. So I want to show you something else that we are going to be talking about here. And actually it goes with what we're talking about. Let me come back to this. All right. So you just talked about up in the sky, planes or whatever, except these are way higher than planes. So it's not a plane. But I want to take you back to 1958. Are you guys ready for this? We're going to have a little fun tonight right here, Outcast. You ready? Here we go.
I had to show this to you guys. This is a book that was given to us years ago. This is copyright 1958. All about airplanes. Okay, so what's this? The Rainmakers. Look at that. Sometimes when rain has been badly needed for a long time, a pilot will turn his plane into a rain-making machine. When the meteorologist says the clouds are right, the pilot goes up and seeds them with a special chemical. And sometimes this seeding does make the clouds drop their rain.
Okay. What do you think of that? That's very short, this little book. I want to get this book if it's still available somewhere, but it has two parts to this little video. So that was right there was the airplane, and them putting it right in our face in 1958. Now remember, it started in the 40s with this cloud seeding stuff. All right, they perfected it now, but do you want to see the rest of this video? There's like 1 minute left.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I've been sending this little video to some people who are recently receptive to this stuff, and their minds are blown by the stuff I've been sending them. So here we go.
One more interesting thing, I'll let you
Same
make
book.
your own conclusions about this, but this is the map that it says that they use for air travel because it's more direct. It's, interestingly enough, got the ice wall around it. It's got the North Pole in the middle. It's got the direct flight path from New York to Tokyo. It says, now a plane can fly the black line from New York to Tokyo. Doesn't that map just make sense? It says 100 years ago, you would have had to travel the dotted black line from New York to Tokyo. This is a globe Earth map, though. And it's showing how you have to go
Why would you have
around.
Why would you have to go around?
Well, she said this is 100 years ago, so they're obviously doing that by a boat.
Boat. Okay. No Panama Canal. No Panama
right,
Canal.
but you see the map is completely different, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's keep going.
To get there. Doesn't make sense. So,
she's right.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. But
The book is called The First Book of Airplanes by Gene Bendick.
Okay.
Printed by the author, 1958.
it's, thank goodness for the Civil Aeronautics Administration.
Ooh. It's dedicated to the Civil Aeronautics Administration, which makes the air safer for us. Listen to her.
Which makes the air safer for us all.
What do you think of that, Outcast?
It's
You see, right here, I'm going to scroll up in it just a little bit right
he
there.
was into something.
Old books. I need you guys to find old books and hold them. Old books. I'm telling you. Old books. And this is not even old. This is 1958. I've got books from the 1800s. But I'm telling you, things that they taught us back then are completely different than stuff we were taught now. It just gets wilder and wilder, man. That's what I'm saying. What do you guys think of that book? I know Amber Dawn says, I want a good pair of binoculars. So much nature here. Yeah. Well, says Boot Boy. Evan. That's right. Well. That's a good book. So we need to find that book, Outcast. That would be a good one. I don't know, like I said, if it's available, but what'd you find?
I can't help but wonder if Gene Bendick was trying to give us clues.
Right? She could have been. What's that?
I was just looking up the actual quote I was quoting earlier from Macaulay Culkin, or supposedly from Macaulay Culkin. I have it, I think.
Okay.
If you want
Ms. Melody says, we'll get that from you in a second. She says right here, I'll put up on the screen, Outcast. I'm a huge fan of thriftbooks.com for that reason. So if you guys want to get good books, old books, I guess Thrift Books has it. Thriftbooks.com.
Oh, cool.
We need to check that out. Yeah, we need to check that out. I wonder if they have any old Ethiopian Bibles. Let us know on that.
Or you know what we need too is a Geneva Bible.
Oh, yeah. I haven't looked for one of those yet. Ms. Melody also put a link into the Discord. talking about Ashton Kutcher, Twitter founder funded school projects. So there's an article there. Says Hollywood actor and internet entrepreneur have donated money to Iowa and Nebraska classrooms. Well, listen, Michigan too. His name's all up in here too. So there's something else going on. So I'm telling you, it's deeper than what we're seeing. That's surface level stuff.
And it rings so similar to like you brought up earlier. And I got to echo it again. That CPS, Child Protective Services, being implicated in all these of trafficking people. I mean, everything that they sell you is one thing, is another, right? It's the inversion of truth. So wouldn't it let itself, if what we believe about Ashton Kutcher is true, that he would start a anti-trafficking?
Oh, it's a perfect cover. Yeah, it's a perfect cover for all that. You know what, Outcast? We didn't do a prayer.
I know.
I
knew you'd remember eventually. And we were having too much fun.
I know, it was a good time. All right, let's bow our heads, brother, and get a prayer, a halfway prayer for the show.
Okay. Dear Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Adonai, El Shaddai, we come to you in the name of Jesus.
Okay, you're good. Said you're coming to you in the name of Jesus.
We come to you in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Father, we love you and we thank you for every blessing and every gift and everything that you've brought us through and walked us through in difficult situations and trained us up and strengthened us in those process of those hard times. We thank you for your encouragement and your love and sending encouragers our way. We thank you for the prayers of other people who care about us when we're not even aware of it, prayed for us when we were in our darkest spots in our lives. We thank you for those prayers that are known and unknown and those people known and unknown. We thank you for just loving us the way nobody else can love us and grafting us into your holy family and the family of Abraham so that we can trample the plans of the enemy. We can stand firmly knowing that we are children of God and we are inheritors of the kingdom through Jesus Christ, our Lord and our Savior. It is a unique honor and distinction, and it just melts our hearts to know that you loved us so much that you pursued us and you never stopped until we inclined our heart towards you. So Lord, we seek to align our hearts and minds with the heart and mind of Christ. We want to be imagers of you and imagers of Christ and with everybody that we encounter in our lives, Lord. May they feel the love and the peace that comes off of us that is through you, and may they be drawn closer to you because of it. May you increase and we decrease in these requests. This is not about us, it's about you, and forgive us if there's any pride in us whatsoever. We just want to save one more soul, just like Jesus petitions on our behalf at the throne to stop your final judgment, Lord, because he wants to save another soul. Help us to be his body and his legs and his eyes and his feet here on earth, that we can go out into the world and have the exact same attitude. We just want to save one more person. We don't want anybody to experience this judgment that is coming, and it's coming soon. We know it. We can feel it in our bones. We thank you for great conversations with other like-minded people that we encounter so that we can shore up our faith and learn something new. We thank you for every other great podcast that's out there. There's great people doing really good work, and we've learned so much that we can recognize things when we talk to other people. So may we broaden our horizons and listen to different people that we trust. May our discernment tell us if they bear fruit or if not. That goes for the show too. Lord, we seek to bear fruit. So we invite you in every single episode. Have your way in us, speak into us and through us and into the lives of the listeners. May the listeners be given a discernment like they've never had before, and may they learn new things and write it on the tablet of their hearts so they can apply it to their ministry when they go out and speak to people boldly. Give us courage, Lord. Give us boldness, but wrapped in love. Let us not forget the loving part. Let us not be bullheaded and brash, but tender and gentle and loving, and help us to meet people right where they're at in their journey so that we can provide for them a little something that the world has not offered them: compassion and understanding. Lord, we thank you for the great news that we're learning about Amber Dawn and Bella getting baptized soon, and Bella's baby on the way. Lord, you put Amber Dawn and Bella on my heart, and I've been praying for them every single day. They fall off because there's somebody in the list, but for some reason they've been consistently on my mind, and I'm just so encouraged to hear how you're working in their lives. May this baby that comes just be an abundant blessing on everybody in this family's situation. May Amber Dawn just relish and enjoy being a grandmother, and may her daughter just embrace motherhood, and may they all just come together as they rally around their love for you. May they just pour that same love into this baby, and may this baby be a powerful minister in some way, shape, or form, have a ministry of their own, and go out into the world. And may it be an extension of this friendship that we have here on the show and our friendship with Amber Dawn. May it just move in profound ways. Lord, I pray for my friend Jack. Lord, I can tell that something major happened in his heart, and he was open to talking about Jesus, Lord. And I believe that he had a very major encounter with something highly spiritual, and I believe it was you, but I think he saw other things too. So just speak into Jack's heart, help him to understand and discern. This is a new journey for him. Give him wisdom and discernment like he's never had before. Give him just eyes to see and ears to hear and a heart to perceive what is from the enemy and what is from you. Strengthen him, shore him up, and may he save many more lives, amplify his voice amongst his friends, and may people who respect and love him follow suit, and they want a taste of what is making his life better. May they follow that as well. Please work to continue, God willing, if you want it, Lord, continue to work through Jack and myself as friends, and may I be able to offer something to him to help guide him on his journey as he gets closer and closer to you. Lord, anybody else out there that's struggling with anything, Lord, people are struggling with, like my friend Tawny, she's being evicted from her home, and she's making a bold move to move in with her fiance. Lord, she believes that this is what you want. She's put a lot of prayer into it, and it seems like things are happening very quickly. We pray that you'll just put your peace upon her and let her know that you are with her, regardless of whatever takes place next. Just may she feel your presence and feel your guidance. If you brought her to it, you're going to bring her through it. Lord, I pray for anybody else that's struggling with, addiction. I keep bringing it up every week, addiction of any kind. It has a broad definition. May we all be set free from our addictions, myself included, and may we focus our hearts on you and live a life that is full because of the fact that we're unfettered and we're unchained by the things of this world that the devil helped create to shackle us to this worldly thinking. May we be set free so we are just free agents of Christ, moving powerfully and doing work in the lives of other people who are lost in the dark. Help us to rescue as many people as possible before judgment comes, because the hour is getting late, Lord. But Lord, bless this episode, protect us from technical glitches. Thank you for Jesse's hard work and preparation with every show. Bless him and his family. Bless all of our listeners and their families. May we just relish in the fact that we are a family together through Jesus Christ and his shed blood on the cross and his resurrection. And may we trample serpents together, knowing that we are boldly brought into the family, and we are not timid in any way, but we are strong, knowing that our salvation is secure through Jesus Christ's sacrifice. I pray all this in Jesus Christ's holy and precious name. Amen.
Amen, brother. Thank you. You know, you talked about addiction. You bring it up every week, but it's fitting. Okay, there's addiction, like you said, of all kinds out there, man. It is wild. Not just to drinking, but lifestyles and whether it's clothes or fashion or sport and bread and circus. It can be anything. I mean, there's so much addiction out there. What are we to do other than listen to prayers by Outcast? You know what I'm saying? And try to pull through these things. It's never ending. It's a never ending battle. And that's part of the thing that, you bring to the forefront on the show every time, Outcast. So thank you so much for bringing that up.
I appreciate that. Thank you. It's just what God put on my heart. And, like I said, I'm no better. I mean, I have my things too. We all do. It could be something as simple as, gossiping, judging other people.
Yeah. The tongue.
There's tons of lots of little things that we can do. But just imagine if we could shake off the flesh and align ourselves with what Christ wants us to be. Mm-hmm. And, it's called progressive sanctification. It doesn't happen overnight. We're being worked on, Yep. Yeah. But we can't go on thinking, oh, once saved, always saved. I'm just going to go do my thing and I'm cool because I accepted Jesus in my heart. Yeah, there's truth in that, but we need to bear fruit too.
Yeah, you got to stay after it every day, right? It's tough. I'm telling you. We all know. Yeah. We all go through that struggle. All right, thank you for that prayer, Outcast. The halfway point prayer. We got to fit all the rest of this stuff in in 45 minutes. All right, so let's try this. There's something out there, and I want to play some music on this one. This is a good one called Rachel's Eyes. And Raechel is spelled Raechel, you guys. It's spelled different than the Rachael we're used to. So Rachel's eyes. I want you guys to listen to that, all right, or to look at that. There is this story that I don't know if maybe some of you guys have heard it, Outcast. Maybe you have. I don't know, but this is the first time I've learned about this. Here's the core story. It's a book written by Marissa Luttrell, who claims that while attending college, she became friends with a young woman named Rachael. According to Luttrell, Rachael was possessed a number of unusual characteristics. She had extremely striking and unusual eyes, exceptional intelligence and abilities, a sense of being different from other people, knowledge and experience that seemed difficult to explain through ordinary means, encounters and circumstances that led Luttrell to believe that Rachael had a non-human origin. It's crazy. 333 truth is here. What's going on, brother? The authors argue that Rachael was not merely someone who had alien encounters, but was herself a human-alien hybrid living amongst ordinary people. 1972, Outcast. This is when this was written. Okay. Unlike many UFO books that focus on spacecraft sightings or abduction experiences, Rachael's eyes focus on her identity, hidden origins, human-alien hybridization, the possibility of non-human beings passing unnoticed in society. The emotional relationship between the narrator and Rachael is a major part of the story. The book spends significant time describing friendship, trust, and the gradual realization that something extraordinary may be occurring with this girl here. The eyes. We're talking about her eyes. The title comes from Rachael's eyes, which are repeatedly described as unusual and deeply memorable. Throughout the book, the eyes become symbolic or the mystery surrounding her identity. And the author suggests that her eyes revealed aspects of her true nature. People reacted strongly to them. They became one of the clues that led the narrator to question whether Rachael was fully human or not. Here's some hybrid program claims. One of the book's central claims that is extraterrestrials. Listen, we're talking about kind of normies here. Extraterrestrials. I'm going to call them interterrestrials. Right? May be involved in creating hybrids that can integrate into human society. The book explores ideas such as human and non-human genetics, hidden populations of hybrids, secret contact between extraterrestrials and humanity. The possibility that hybrids may not even fully understand their own origins. I keep thinking about the movie, the TV series V. Remember that from the 80s?
Yeah.
I need to watch that again. The book has developed a following within UFO and experiencer communities because it presents a detailed personal narrative rather than a technical investigation. And a lot of supporters view it as a sincere firsthand account, a unique perspective on hybridization claims, and an important contribution to UFO experiencer literature. It might be good to have to talk to Karen Wilkinson about this. I've been talking with her behind the scenes, so I want to bring this up with her. So, here's some questions. Who exactly was Rachael, and what evidence is offered by her alleged hybrid status? What's your thoughts on any of this stuff, Outcast? Did Rachael believe she was different? Go ahead. Rachael's Eyes. This is the book that was written.
No, so this book was written in 73, and it's somebody's personal account about somebody new named Rachael. Is that the gist of this?
Yeah.
Well, I just want to add this. I don't invest a lot of time thinking about reptilians, even despite my shirt I'm wearing tonight. Yeah. I don't think about aliens or reptilians much, but I do think it's definitely a possibility, especially with firsthand accounts I've heard.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm going to go deeper here, just real shortly.
Okay. All right, go ahead. I can save it if you want.
Well, it's not that long, but I will go a little deeper here, and then maybe it'll help with some stuff. All right, because this book is crazy, crazy interesting. Music Lover says, my mom mentioned the show V before, one of the few that made it to South Africa. And Shelley Pollack says, V freaked me out as a kid. Yeah, well, we should watch it again today, see if it holds up. So, 1972. Yes, Star Seeds and Star Children. That's exactly, 333. So, let's do it again. Let's keep going. Let's go a little deeper. So, again, 1972, the core story what Melissa allegedly experienced while she was living with Rachael as her college roommate in Northern California during the early 70s. According to the authors, Marissa observed Rachael's unusual behavior on diet, speech patterns, and background or lack thereof, which eventually led to her suspect Rachael was not an ordinary human. Okay, so it's getting a little deeper, right, into her everyday life. Now, Helen's memories. She says after Marissa died in 1990, her mother, Helen Luttrell, began revisiting events surrounding Rachael. Much of the part one of the book was reconstructed from Helen's recollections of conversations, experiences, impressions connected to Marissa and Rachael. The authors state that some information was recalled years after the events occurred. UFO investigation by a woman called Jean Bilodeau. In the mid-90s, Helen contacted a UFO investigator, Jean. Together, they spent years examining the story, interviewing people who had known Rachael, and attempting to corroborate details. The book's second half is presented in an investigation into the claims. Now, here's where it gets kind of crazy. Hypnotic regression sessions. I'm not a fan of this, Outcast. We know why. A major portion of the book's conclusions came from hypnotic regression sessions Helen underwent between 1998 and 2000 under the supervision of Dr. June Steiner. According to the authors, these sessions revealed additional details about Rachael, alleged family connections to extreme extraterrestrial encounters, information about supposed military program, the origins of Rachael herself, and details that Helen claimed that she had not consciously remembered before. Now, here's the Four Corners story. This gets crazy, too. One of the central claims that emerged as Rachael was supposedly connected to the secret Air Force project at a facility called Four Corners in Nevada, described as separate from, but similar to Area 51. According to the narrative, a military officer adopted Rachael and helped her to integrate into human society as a part of the humanization project. There's no publicly available government documents. Of course, there's not. All right. Biological samples, photographs proving the hybridization, or independently verified records confirming these central claims. Even within the UFO research circles, the case is generally considered an experiencer account rather than a documented case with hard physical evidence. But there's so many different angles. But think about the memory, the recovered memory, and the hypnosis and all that regression stuff. I mean, now I want to hear your thoughts on Rachel's eyes.
So, like I said, I don't spend a ton of time thinking about reptilians and or other aliens that are among us, but I am open-minded. I've heard enough accounts that it's from compelling sources that I think there is probably something there, you know. But one that happened recently, I don't think I've said this on the show before. I was meeting with a new customer, and somehow I put my lure in the lake, and I cast my lure in the lake, and I said, dropped a worm that I was a conspiracy theorist. And this person was into similar stuff, but a little different. But she told me this story, and I thought it was compelling. She said that her mother, who knows nothing about these topics, not a thing, randomly said one day, "I think my boss's wife is a lizard person or a reptilian."
Whoa.
And she said, "Why do you say that?" And she said, "Well, she's acting different than she used to. And I saw what looked like a third eyelid in her eye." And she said, she has the place cranked to the highest heat that we'll tolerate in the building at all times. We're always sweating our guts out because that's the way she likes it. Now, the interesting part to the story that I don't know what to do with is, I said, so she's changed. She wasn't always like this. These are new behaviors. The eyelid, it's all new.
Yeah.
And she said, yes. So that would indicate, for lack of a better description and for the fun of it, just for conversation's sake, for our listeners who can handle the weird stuff, that would indicate a invasion of the body snatchers type scenario, like that you can be inhabited by something. That's a little creepy, or very creepy. To think that they're among us and that they can disguise themselves, that's another topic, all that. But she said, what holds water about this to me, and I agreed with her. She said, my mom doesn't know these things. She's not on the internet. She's not listening to conspiracy theories. She's never heard the word reptilian. She used it up her. on her own because she didn't know how to explain what she was seeing.
Classic normie. Yep.
Yep. And I agree. I think that's compelling. I think that's
Yeah.
interesting. Then there's that guy, the tattoo artist that's born again, who's got his tattooed all over his head like a clown, Richie the barber.
Yeah.
He's got a testimonial floating around out there about how when Obama was in town, 2 Secret Service agents came in to get a fresh shave, bald head shave. And while he was shaving the guy's head, he saw a third eyelid go. He said the eye blinked sideways. He said it clicked sideways.
Horizontal.
And he freaked out. He goes, "Dude, what's up with your eyes?" And he looked at him and said, "What do you believe in?" That's all the guy said.
That's awesome. I mean, it's not awesome, but you know what I'm saying. It's awesomely entertaining. And
well, I mean, you combine that with the fact that you see these pictures of these Secret Service guys at the White House occasionally.
I know.
And they do look really freaking odd, and their eyes are really weird. Man, it does make you wonder. It really does.
What do you remember that one Secret Service guy that was walking with Trump or around Trump that was about 9 feet tall?
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yes. Thank you.
He
for
was
reminding
dressed
me of that.
just like all the other ones, except he was the tallest. I'm telling you, he was a 9 or 10 footer.
He was huge. Yeah, that was weird. That doesn't even seem like it would be handy to have around because how do you fit him into the helicopter? How do you fit him in place? I mean, what do you do with that guy?
Yeah, it gets his own plane, I guess. I don't know, man, but it's wild. Yeah, we're going back to Music Lover. She's bringing up the SG-1 again. Stargate. So I rewatched Stargate SG-1 for the first half of the series. The bad guys are plastic symbiotes that take over a person's body with the goal of conquering everyone and posing as their gods. Yeah, I mean, that's the classic story right there. That is the classic story. You guys need to watch V from the 80s. I know, you know, the images, the graphics, the whatever, the CGI probably looks cringe, but I'm telling you, it's freaky. It is straight up freaky. If they redid it today with today's technology, same storyline, I'm telling you, I can see it. It's just like the one on your shirt, Outcast.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like that.
This is They Live, which also has some cheese factor to it due to the age of it, but still holds up. V, if I remember correctly, it was a several part miniseries on TV, right? It wasn't like
I remember when it came out. That was like the talk of the town. It went on for weeks, I think.
We were like in the 6th grade, I think, weren't we?
Maybe whatever in the mid 80s is. You know,
we were probably 12. We were probably 12 when that came out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Eric or Evan, right? He says, I remember one of the ceremonial guards in China when Putin came to town was postured like he wasn't human at all. Yeah, I think we've played it on the video here. Because remember when the doors open and he walks out of that palace in the long carpet and you have the 2 guards on either side of the doorway, and that one, their heads are up and they're wearing that chin thing that comes down like their nose or whatever, and they're really standing tall. And he watches them. He doesn't look. I mean, he does not look human. That thing, whatever that was, unless it's like he's doing a karate kata or something. It's crazy. Well,
even when Biden was in office, I remember there's a photograph from inside the White House where there's these super tall looking black entities that are standing in the aisleway.
Yeah,
that was so weird. It wasn't like, it was just bizarre.
Yeah, I know.
And we're skirting around too. I mean, look at this Miami thing that we never got an explanation for, the Miami Mall.
Yeah,
the giant shadow people. Yeah,
that just went away. Yep,
that just went away. It got brushed under the rug real quick.
I
mean, my guess that leads into probably your next thing you want to talk about, which is all this stuff makes me think of CERN too, because I'm like thinking if they're popping little pinhole portals and allowing things to come through.
Yeah,
that would be explaining why we're seeing so much weirdness, which we never saw before. I mean,
I think that's the biggest story of tonight, the CERN story, which I'm going to save to the end. I'm going to put this other one right in front of it here. Okay. Let me see here. Like she says, Music Lover says, like a robot that was trying to stay upright. And Ian says, like something that was in a skin suit trying to figure out how people stood. Yeah, I know. It is crazy. She said also, I had to double check, but Rachael Luttrell is in Stargate Atlantis. I'll keep an eye out for her crazy eyes. This bad guys in season 1 have reptilian eyes and feed off a human life force. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Let us know. And of course, Biden. taking a dump in his pants. Oh, where's that at? Right here. 333 Truth sent a email the other day. Remember, Outcast? Looking for a link from last week's show. I don't know what you're talking about. I forgot which link you're talking about. So please resend me or say it here, whatever it is. 333 Truth. Will you please? Because I don't know. I see a lot of stuff. So I don't know what link you're talking about, but I can send it. I can make it there. Just, you got to tell me what I was talking about or what we were saying. So I know which link to maybe I'll put it right into the description, but just let me know what you're talking about. Cause I don't know. Let's go over here, Outcast. I think this is going to be kind of fun. Now we're going to be talking about this one. Her name is Chris Newby on the secret history of Lyme disease and biological weapons. How many times have we talked about that on the show, Outcast? A lot, right?
A lot. Yeah, it comes up a lot. Yes.
All right, let me blow this up a little bit so you guys can see it. And this brings us back to, let's bring this down a little right there. This brings us back to June of 2024. All right, so in 2002, Chris Newby and her family took a 1-week vacation to Martha's Vineyard. Here's a quote. When we returned home, my husband and I became deathly ill with 2 tick-borne diseases. She told that to the Corporate Crime Reporter in an interview last month. She says it took us a year and 10 doctors and $60,000 to get it diagnosed. And who knows how much it took to cure. But it took us 5 to 6 years to get over those diseases. During that time, Newby made an award-winning documentary about her illness titled Under Our Skin. When Newby and her husband got better after years of treatment, she told the husband, I'm done with Lyme disease. I'm going to move on with my life and forget I was ever so ill. Newby was hired as a researcher at Stanford Medical School. I went to Stanford, and pretty much just a couple of weeks after I said I was going to work on Lyme disease anymore. I wasn't going to work on Lyme disease anymore. Then 2 things happened, Newby said. I was at a random family party in Texas, and I met a guy in his 70s. I asked him, I said, where did you work before you retired? And he said, I was in Black Ops in the CIA. And he told me some of the most horrific things he did in Vietnam. And at the end of that riff, he said, but the strangest thing I ever did was drop infected ticks on Cuban sugarcane workers in 1962. That's the story I talked about a couple weeks ago. Remember that?
Wow. Yeah.
He said he had no idea that I just spent 5 years of my life researching Lyme disease. Okay. Then she goes on. She says, I spent the evening speaking with him, taking copious notes. I didn't know about the Cold War. He talked about details that I verified later on. And it turns out that the dropping of the infected ticks in Cuba was called Operation Mongoose. Remember that?
Yep.
Which was a CIA operation to weaken Fidel Castro's position in Cuba, to bring his economy down. They wanted to diminish Cuba's largest cash crop, which was sugarcane. Then a friend of mine who also does documentaries went out to Willie Bergdorfer's house and did a 4-hour interview with him. Willie Bergdorfer was a researcher who discovered bacteria that caused Lyme disease. In that interview, Willie said that one of the organisms he was following in the investigation, the Lyme disease outbreak in the late 70s, was a bioweapon that had been worked on in the bioweapons program early when he said he was in the program there. So that was 2 people who led me to believe that this outbreak of freakish tick-borne diseases was the offshoot of the bioweapons program, Newby said. I wonder if she's going to talk about Plum Island here. I don't know, but let's keep going. Newby went on to write a book called Bitten, The Secret History of Lyme Disease and Biological Weapons in 2019. Bergdorfer didn't say that Lyme disease was the result of bioweapons research. Quote, no, I didn't say that either, Newby said. My book doesn't say that the Lyme disease bacterium, Borrelia burgdorferi, was weaponized. Instead, it represents evidence that ticks and other tick-borne microbes were weaponized, and this may be contributing to the tick-borne disease epidemic that we're seeing. What Bergdorfer said was that he was looking for the ticks and the blood of people in the Lyme, Connecticut, and Long Island area. And practically every sample that he tested, he saw different organisms called rickettsia. It's related to Rocky Mountain spotted fever, which is the most deadly tick-borne disease in the United States. It is known that the bioweapons program was trying to weaponize it by freeze-drying and milling it and making it an aerosol so they could spray it over large areas and create a number of casualties. How would they spray it over large areas, Outcast?
Chemtrails.
There you go. In June 1982, Science magazine published their discovery article called, quote, Lyme disease, a tick-borne spirochetosis. And then scientists worldwide began looking for Lyme spirochetes in patients and ticks. A year later, at First International Symposium on Lyme disease, the spirochete was named after Willy Bergdorfer. It was blamed for all the illnesses, but I believe that there was an organism that was involved. It was the weaponized version of the rickettsia, and the combo was making people really sick. This rickettsia, which I call Swiss Agent USA, has never been identified in the United States. Willie claimed discovery in Switzerland, but not in the United States. He told you that he was to keep a discovery secret. Here's a quote. She says, "Yes, I named it Swiss Agent USA. In the middle of his investigation, he discovered these rickettsias. He knew that the organism had been weaponized. He worked for the program for over a decade. He tested it against all other known rickettsias, including weaponized rickettsias, and it came up negative. In the middle of the investigation, he flies to Switzerland, collects 4,000 ticks on the border of France and Germany and Switzerland. He discovered what looked like the same organism he named the Swiss Agent. He brings those back to Montana and develops the test. He tests the mysterious rickettsia in the Lyme, Connecticut area against the Swiss Agent, and it comes up positive. That was really mysterious because the birds do not fly from Switzerland to Lyme, Connecticut. So how did it get to Lyme? There were panic calls between him and the bioweapons headquarters. That's when the cover-up started. The public agencies said this freaky outbreak of tick-borne disease is making people upset. So we need to develop a cover story so people don't look into the weapons program. Is rickettsia a bioweapon? Here's a quote. I pushed Willie several times on this. He felt like it was something that was weaponized. He told my documentary friends that on camera. He says they were experimenting with it when it got out. Quote, accidents happen. What's the history of the military weaponizing insects? By weaponization, I mean the military was stuffing fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes with combinations of deadly incapacitating bacteria and viruses, if you believe that, and viruses. Their goal was to create the perfect stealth weapon to drop on enemies. So on the other hand, the NIH was trying to save lives from deadly weapons or deadly diseases. On the other hand, they were creating new deadly Frankengerms, which I call crude gain-of-function experiments. As we discussed earlier, the CIA ran a pilot study called Operation Mongoose, where infected ticks were dropped on Cuban sugarcane to destroy Fidel's cash crop. The Army funded uncontrolled releases of radioactive aggressive Lone Star ticks on the U.S. Atlantic bird flyway. Lone Stars spread spotted fever and red meat allergy. There was a cover-up of potentially weaponized germ that we spoke of. During the Lyme investigation, Willie told me to omit the presence of at least one potential bioweapon. In the 1960s, the military moved away from bug-borne illnesses and moved to brewing bioweapons by the ton in large stainless steel tanks. These germs would be dried, milled, and sprayed from planes, boats, and vehicles. Some of these bioweapons can be spread by ticks, too. One of Willie's jobs was to figure out how to reproduce ticks faster. If you were going to put ticks in a cluster bomb, you would need millions of them. Possibly in boxes in vacant fields, huh, Outcast?
Yeah.
Here we go. Shortly after the series of experiments with the Lone Star ticks, they became established near Plum Island on Long Island, where the government ran an animal disease research center. It was right across Long Island Sound from Lyme, Connecticut, and there were a huge outbreak of Rocky Mountain spotted fever in humans. Many people died. Many people became gravely ill. That's one accident. In the late 1960s, the height of the airborne biological weapons program, there were 3 completely novel, unusual tick-borne diseases that all sudden appeared from the mouth of the Connecticut River right across from Plum Island. How does that happen? Question. Climate change and land use do not create 3 novel decades of all that suddenly appear. Yeah, the climate change. All right. There was what we call Lyme disease. There was a cattle parasite. And then there was a spotted fever, 12 miles as the crows fly from Lyme, Connecticut, the research center at the Plum Island. It was the headquarters for the anti-animal bioweapons research program. Should I keep going, Outcast? I mean, I'm towards the end.
It's up to you. Yeah, it's up to you.
Let's keep going. I can cram it in here. So, Plum Island did have a tick hatchery with hundreds of thousands of ticks. They probably got their seed ticks from Willie. And they also did open air tick experiments there. How did some diseases there jump over to Long Island Sound? Willie would not elaborate. I pushed him as far as I could, but he died with his secrets. But because Willie was forced to lie in his Science magazine article about the existence of another, possibly engineered rickettsia, you shut off a line of inquiry on this really dangerous combination of tick-borne diseases. The foundational science is not good. If the bad actor is really this rickettsia, we have been pouring billions of dollars into a vaccine for Lyme disease, the disease that isn't quite as bad. Are you saying that is diagnosed as Lyme disease could be something else? Because of nomenclature, I would say that Lyme disease has not yet been proven to be a bioweapon. Lyme disease is a bacteria called Borrelia burgdorferi, named after the person who discovered it, Willie Burgdorfer. So a couple little endings different in his last name in the bacteria. We don't know if there's Rickettsia burgdorferi because there was a cover-up. That's a quote. What's your bottom line statement whether these diseases blew up around Lyme, Connecticut in 1968? Was it nature or lab? We're coming to the end here. I believe there was human intervention in this Lyme outbreak, without a doubt. And I say Lyme outbreak, which is different from Lyme disease. I say this clearly in my book. I have no proof that Lyme disease is a bioweapon, but I know they weaponize other tick-borne diseases. They were unsafe experiments with ticks and tick-borne diseases, and that was the fuel of the fire of this epidemic. Willie Burgdorfer, the person with the most to lose, said that bioweapons were somehow involved in this outbreak, and he would not give any details beyond that. And I continue to research the root of the cause. And my preliminary conclusion, which I haven't published yet, is that the outbreak was due to multiple accidents associated with the bioweapons program. What is your next book about? And she says, my next book is about the Dugway Proving Grounds, which has biological and chemical weapons. They were importing ticks from South America to Dugway for testing bioweapons. The CIA was funding the Smithsonian to go out to Baker Island in the Pacific to collect ticks. And that's all I can say about that right now.
Wow.
I haven't been looking at the chats. I see that there's a bunch there, but give me your initial thoughts on all that. How does that...
It's a combination of not surprised. I also feel anger and outrage that they are experimenting on us. I'm even, I'll tell you what, I'm even mad for the Cuban people because even though I'm no fan of communism, the CIA had a plan to tank their economy so they could take them over. Well, look at how bad Cuba's been struggling because of things that we've done to them. It's not like it's organically failing. Or it'd be different if communism just failed, imploded on itself. But no, we're getting involved. We're playing God. Our government is, not you and I, but our government is playing God in all kinds of scenarios, and I find it quite reviling. And once again, where would humanity be if we didn't have this type of intervention in our lives? Diseases being foisted upon us, being taxed to death, being money being lent on interest to us, education system failing us. I mean, from every angle, we're under attack. Food, the sky is being sprayed. Everywhere we look, it's like it's designed to make us fail so they can wrangle us into that one world government system that they so badly desire to have. While they try to convince us to be secular in our thinking and to poo-poo religion, they're playing out exactly to a T what John the Revelator said the end times and the Antichrist would do. It's just, you can't make this stuff up. It's right there in our face. If anybody out there listening to me is not right with God, you better get there because they are moving hard and fast because they are threatened by God's sovereignty, God's children, that's us, and what we can do if we mobilize against them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just little
I'm
tangent there.
right there with you. I should probably put a link somewhere for. I'll just drop the link here in the chats. All right, how's that? If you guys want to get into it, you can do that too. It wasn't a huge. What do you call it? It wasn't an enormous article as far as length, but it was fairly long, and there's more to it. She's got the whole book. Then you know, all the stuff that we've talked about in the past about Plum Island, Operation Mongoose, which we just did a couple weeks ago. She's right there with it, you know, so she's confirming a lot of that stuff. Well,
I mean, and then look at last week's stellar guest, and that proved that people are actually going into the hospital for routine surgeries and coming out with I don't know what they are, implants in their bodies that could be used against them. It's just like, just leave us alone. Stop doing this. Let us live our lives.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Joe
Hey,
says another cool shirt, Outcast. Yeah, that's the They Live shirt.
That's my buddy Joe. Hey, Joe, what's happening? Good to see you.
All right, Joe, welcome to the live show, brother. Excellent. Glad to have you here. Yeah, we're just getting crazy with it, getting weird with it tonight. I'm going to add this to it too. So just so you guys have it, the link that I just said is going to be in all this stuff right there. There you go. Yeah, so there it is. I mean, we get experimented on. It's nothing new. It's just we just find it more and more evidence of it every day. And again, this was from 2024. I mean, I've also read things in here that are from the 60s and the 50s and, you know, the 40s and all these airplane things and all the stuff that we get called the conspiracy theorists about. We have supporting evidence to say we're not all that crazy. We're just, you know, reading things. We're reading white papers. We're finding out the unclassified materials and everything. Yeah, go ahead.
And on the human level, I mean, if you've known anybody that's had Lyme disease, not like she said in the beginning, it's extremely difficult to be diagnosed properly. You're going to spend a fortune to get there. You know, you don't feel right. You're sick. You're fatigued. It's like, what a slow, cruel death to put on somebody for what? So you could. But we know they need to thin the herd in order for their plans to play out. But man, it's especially when there's a trail of evidence to prove that they do this stuff. It's very maddening.
It's crazy. Let me see. Yeah, not just ticks, but roaches as well. Yeah, they do. Look, mosquitoes. They do a lot of stuff. Joe says he's had it twice. Lyme disease. Oh, really? So you're gonna. Did you get to see? Hopefully, you got to see this. What I was just talking about. There's a link right there. You can click on that and you can read it later. But you know, if not, listen to it later. But if you heard what we talked about right there with this Lyme disease, his secret history of Lyme disease as a biological weapon. Put in some input. Sounds like you had firsthand experience on that. And plus, think about this, Outcast. It talked about messing with the Lone Star ticks way back in the day too. What were they just pushing the last few months here? Lyme disease, ticks. And we saw the farmers showing up with these boxes in their fields full of ticks in the boxes. Who's doing all that stuff? Think about a few years ago, just like when all these pallets of bricks showed up downtown. Why? So I can throw them through windows and all that. It's crazy.
You know, I want to say this too, because Joe Bones Band is on here. A friend of Joe and mine, his name's Jake. He opened a barber shop down outside of Louisville, Kentucky. And Jake, Jake from our podcast. He's been on our podcast on Mystery Pie. Jake said that they're picking off ticks off of themselves every single day, and his coworker got alpha gal syndrome. Now she's allergic to meat. I don't know if I told Joe that or not, but Joe, you know Jake, and Jake just told me that about 2 weeks ago. So
that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Small world. Well, listen, we gotta stay on it, and it sounds like it can be cured, but it really affects a lot of people. But look, I believe that none of this stuff happened by chance. Okay, I believe that it's my opinion is what I'm saying is that this was done. Experimented. There's so many experiments that we've talked about on the show here, of government experimenting on people without their consent, without their knowledge. Look at all the different programs. Look at Sea Spray. Look at Operation Sea Foam. Look at Popeye. You know, that was done over on in Vietnam. You know, my dad even told me about that. He saw that when that came out. They didn't know what it was, but they saw it happening. Years later, they find out what it is. Now the VA is paying them guys for getting sick from that stuff. You know, that Agent Orange. That's Monsanto. That's Roundup. That's glyphosate. You'll see that they lost. In court. You'll see a big commercial about it. Have you been, affected by glyphosate and all this stuff and Roundup and all this stuff? And then the next commercial will be somebody selling Roundup to put on the weeds in your lawn. Make it make sense, Outcast. It doesn't.
Yep.
All right, we gotta get into our final one here. Now, we're going into one of our favorite subjects, Outcast, CERN, and all the craziness that goes on with CERN. All right.
Yes.
Let's see here. Now I've got there's a couple different ways I want to go with this. You tell me which one you want to do first, because you have deeper insight in this article, but I also have this video. So which way do you want to go? Which way do you want to go?
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, if people don't know exactly what CERN is, and maybe not everybody knows what the opening ceremony of CERN was all about. Maybe we can do that, because I can have it here and you can see how crazy it was back in 2016. Why don't we start there to give people a frame of reference? We'll start with this video and then we'll get into this article. Now, this article was sent to us by a couple of listeners. This morning they sent over, who was it? Oh, Sandy. She's on here. She goes by Floor. What is it? Darn it. Sandy and then Deb Santos. Okay, so it was bouncing around.
They sent it independently. They both sent it and they didn't know it.
No, there was a group chat for the show. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I read it. It's very compelling, and we touch on these things on the show a lot. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so let's watch this video. I'll switch it over and then I'll give it a little narration before it gets going. Okay, so what we're looking at, you guys, right here is the opening ceremony. This happened. Let me get down.
Was it 2012?
2016.
Earlier.
It was 2016. Yeah, the opening of CERN, or the opening of the ceremony in Switzerland, the Gotthard Tunnel.
Yep.
Okay, remember that, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so and it was freaky then, and it's freaky now, and there's so much going on in the background. And that's where you guys are going to want to pay attention to. While there's crazy stuff going on in the background, at the same time, it's going on in the forefront of the video. But you'll see what looks like they have a video screen to the left of that square building. You see it? Well, that is supposed to be a portal. Okay, it's supposed to be a portal there. Watch what happens in the portal and what the people down on the stage are doing. Now, remember, this is an opening ceremony. This is the same people that bring us things like the Super Bowl halftime show, the opening of the ceremony of the Olympics. All these, these shows, the award shows, it's all demonic, it's all satanic, it's all craziness, right? It's all symbolic of something that's ancient.
Yes.
And they mock us for it and put it in our face. You'll see visions of goats and all this sacrifice and things. But let's just scroll through this. This is about a 2-minute video. We'll stop and when you want me to stop, we'll look at something interesting. Look at the portal right now. It's eyeball. Explain that.
Yeah. Goat head guy. Here comes a goat head guy.
And all these people underneath a white
veil.
Veils.
A veil.
Yeah. She joins us now watching the set.
Now, I want to tell you that this is some audio coming directly from there. You'll hear some strange audio coming directly from the opening. But look at these beings and look at what they're doing. It's insane.
I was just saying there, Imogen, this very enjoyable spectacle with dancers, and I presume some people that have taken part in the project as well, shows just...
I want to try to give this as much context for the people in audio that are going to listen to this later that won't see the video, Outcast. So what are we seeing? We're seeing these horns. Look at these devilish-looking horns. We're seeing people with dressed up as animals.
They're carrying some kind of goat head or animal head, and then there's a guy with a goat head.
Yeah.
The Swiss are of this tunnel for so many reasons.
Just the horns.
Now, right now, they're inside the tunnel coming out.
And what's up with the little hairy dudes? Looks like Cousin It flopping around the ground. That's always weird, too.
And you'll see most of these workers, actors, are dressed up as workers in their yellow and orange, work vests and all these things.
Jumpsuits, yeah.
Yeah. Look at it. They're holding up a lamb over their head. They're holding up a little sculpture of a lamb. Are they going to sacrifice that? All right, now here's the portal outside. Look at all these people in the veils just go up in the air like they're angels. Are they supposed to be angels?
Like angels flying or something, yeah.
Now they're in front of the portal. Looks like they just got sucked into it. And then something appears down on the ground. Are the angels in pain, in mourning? What is this? Okay, now look at the screen here. What looks to me like 3 beetles.
Yeah.
But they're bluish green, and they have these 2 red dots on the back. Now look at the screen in front of the beetles. Look at the guy's face. It's morphing.
Yeah.
You guys, this is an opening to the Gothard Tunnel for the public to see. For this amazing engineering feat. Now is it turning into a goat? What is that?
It did. The guy's screaming face turned into a goat. Yes.
You can see the beautiful mountains and the sky in the background, and then this gigantic stage in front of this portal screen.
Oh, Music Lover says, were those ticks? Wouldn't that be something? Good eye.
Yeah, it could have been.
Good eye, Music Lover. Good eye.
There's right there. So this is the what we're talking about. This is Sandy. This is going to be going into your episode that we talked about, or the link you talked about this morning. So let's keep going. Look at that goat head on the floor, on the ground. Is he laying down? What's he doing here?
Yes, it's a man with a goat head. Yeah.
All right, now we have a group of people. They're all dressed in black, walking forward. Now this group of people, they have something. What's on their head? Is it thorns or?
One looks like a crown, but the other guy has something that looks like he's coming out of his spine, out of his back, but he's dressed in a suit. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It is just, listen, I mean, when you watch this at first, you think, wow, this is really avant-garde.
Right.
like this is really artsy. And then the more you watch, you're like, oh, this is, and then once you know the Nephilim narrative in the Bible and whatnot, and the fallen angels, you're like, oh, and then you see the portal, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, and then you realize they're just flying it in your face.
There's angels, there's a truth. 333 Truth says looks more like a ritual. Exactly, that's what we're trying to say. Yes, it's a ritualistic opening. And the thing is, they know what this represents. Whoever choreographed this and put this all together and wrote this, they know what this is all about. They know what they're showing us. Okay, they know every single detail. That's why there's so much going on here. Us on the outside looking at it, we're watching this performance, and I bet you a lot of these actors don't even know what they're part of here. Okay, on the ground, they probably have they're just doing their little parts here in the sequence. But whoever choreographed this, Outcast, they know what they're doing. Okay, what's that guy holding? What is that on the right?
I don't know, but just thinking out loud here, at least when they do like a Super Bowl event or something where they do symbology and creepy stuff, you got like Beyonce pop music behind it, so it disguises the dark nature of it as just creative artistic interpretation. But the music is even unnerving. So you got creepy music with creepy visuals. Nobody's dancing choreographed. This is just, it's like, I mean, there may be some choreographed. Yeah. It's just weird. And this is a scientific research center. What does this have to do with anything with have to do with science? They're revealing the fact that this is an occult ritual. It is an attempt to thin the veil and open up portals or something, because what does this have to do with technology and whatever the CERN is supposed to be, a hadron collider? What does this have to do with any of it? It's a clue.
Yeah, this is the Gothard Tunnel opening,
Yep, sorry, I just had to rant.
That's okay. Okay, so we're back to the main stage again. Now there's a lady all in red, or a guy, I don't know what that's supposed to be, but it's in a red gown, all red, holding a bag. Now it's got a red bag with the white cross all the way across it. I don't know if that's a flag. A Sweden flag is not exactly that, but I don't know. I think they're running frequencies and everything through the sound system there. It's daytime. Look at the
There's a
goat head on the left.
Yeah.
Look at the goat.
There's a big goat head right there.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So does she represent blood sacrifice? I don't know, but she's acting kind of weird. Let's watch.
I think so.
Wait a minute. Look at her belly. And then this goat guy pops up from the bottom showing his belly.
What's going on?
You see her belly. Oh, look at that goat thing on the bottom that just walked in. The goat girl.
A chick with like goat horns. Yeah. She's running on all fours.
Look how they're dancing around. Now there's a guy in a skirt rolled up. I mean, look at this scene, you guys.
He's got a tutu.
He's wearing a tutu.
So we're going to talk about something we're looking at.
Okay. So did you see that stage that they're on? So now we're coming out of the, let me go back a little bit. We're coming out. There it is. We're coming out of the performance, and there's a camera overlooking all this. You see the stage. We're actually back behind the portal now. You can see the people on the ground. You can see a couple buildings where they have, staging and whatever. You see the light show and people walking around. You have the semi trucks that pulled all the stuff there. And let's hear what this guy says, because in just a second, it's going to jump to the very first scene that we get out of this, where all the workers, quote unquote workers, coming out of the portal in their orange jumpsuits, construction suits.
Okay, so go ahead, Doc. Just start playing.
Yes, they are zombies.
This is like an army of zombies, and these represent the workers that were in the tunnel.
Yes, the workers in the tunnel. And as you mentioned previously, before we started airing this, the 9 miners who died.
Yeah, there were 9 miners that died during this, and at the end here, they're acting like zombies, dressed as workers. I don't know, man. It is very spooky. It's very ritualistic. It's very dark, and they are messing with us. 100%, they're messing.
I love.
A lot of chats going on down there. What would you see?
Evan says, "Bro, it's just Evan, bro, it's just art, bro. You don't get it."
Right.
And Music Lover says, "At least the miners have clothes on." Right.
I know, it's crazy.
Wow.
Joe the Bones
It never
Band
ceases
says,
to amaze me.
I know, it's crazy. Every time I see that, I see something else. He says, do you think those missing scientists were sacrificed in some sick ritual? Part of me says yes.
It's possible.
Yeah, part of me
possible.
says yes. But also they had to get those people out of the way because those people knew too much. Ms. Melody says, were they sacrificed or was it an accident? Good question. Those 9 people, those 9 workers. Yeah.
When Music Lover pointed that out, I thought the same thing. I thought, oh, they could easily sacrifice those people in that process.
Yeah.
That
is the $1 million question, right? Yeah, we don't know. We won't know. But they just shove it right in our face. The CERN opening of the Gothard Tunnel there. So now this leads us over here to the article. Now there's a Substack article. It's called the End Game, CERN, Timeline Wars and the Light That Cannot Be Stopped. Powerful higher energy during this palindrome week, June 20th through June 29th today. Now today something happened, Outcast. CERN said that they're stopping until, or they're shutting it down again, right? They're shutting it down. They're going to retool for some things. Wasn't that today?
Yes, they're shutting it down until 2030. Today was the
okay.
shutdown day.
So that's there's that significant year again, fag dating year. So that I'm doing here. So let's get into the article. You read the whole thing in depth. I was able to skim through it today. So let's start working on this thing. All right, let's parse this thing out, and I'll bring it up on screen here. See what we got. Yeah, there we go. So this is the Substack article I was talking about earlier from Sandy and Deb. All right, so you see these guys. What are they doing? It looks like they're 4 dudes out here. A lot of tattoos. A lot of I don't know.
I don't know what
these
the
new
significance.
age.
I don't know.
New ages.
Yeah,
I don't know what this is.
I don't know what the significance of this visual is. I was wondering that too. I don't know. I can't.
All right. It says for the 3rd consecutive day, we're being bathed in powerful higher energy during this palindrome week of June 20th through June 29th. That's today. The universe, here we go, some universe stuff, is a precise mirror reflecting our inner state back to us without distortion. This potent portal activity is transmuting both light and shadow, releasing them into the physical world. It signals the end of outdated traditions and the dawn of new cycles and the dissolution of everything that no longer serves. We are in the grip of metamorphic, unprecedented energy manifesting as a massive collective shift. This week's earthquakes are just one example. Those not in authentic alignment are going through extreme experiences, no matter their mask, title, or following. Whether powerful corporations, truther influences, or spiritual leaders, the energy doesn't discriminate. We are fully immersed in the end game, the collapse of empires, the changing of the guard, and a fundamental transfer of power, not from one corrupt group to another, but to sovereign, awakened individuals who have done their inner work, and it's unfolding now. The masks are falling, the illusions are shattering, and what is being revealed is both terrifying and liberating. Terrifying for those built on lies, liberating for those who have long awaited the dawn of truth. Now here comes the CERN connection, a timeline shift in motion. Outcast, anything yet from you?
No, keep going. I'm good.
All right. Another major timeline shift is unfolding at CERN. The Large Hadron Collider is shutting down at the end of this palindrome week on 6/29. That's today, and it won't power back up until 2030. In 2008, they fired up the Large Hadron Collider. Within days, the financial system collapsed. In 2013, CERN entered its first major shutdown within 24 hours. A 10,000-ton meteor exploded over Russia. You guys remember that thing? One of the most powerful impacts in modern history. Then came the second long shutdown from 2018 to 2022. And we kind of got freaked on that one. Remember when that happened, Outcast? We were kind of like jumping up and down. We're like, all right, it's 2018 to 2022. That was kind of some significant time going on then. All right. Hey, welcome in, Chris. Chris is over on YouTube, says, here for the knowledge. Well, I'm hoping we give you some right now. Let me see. We had the COVID global pandemic. Yeah, I'm glad they said COVID on there. Worldwide lockdowns, economic meltdown, political unrest, a world that never went back to normal. Now this shutdown will continue to bring destruction to the old matrix system. It is the apocalypse of the old guard. The question is, should the people be concerned? All right, timeline wars, the battle beyond third density. Timeline wars challenge the linear mind to comprehend what is truly unfolding. While humanity's ascension path toward higher consciousness is assured, the journey there remains fluid, with the infinite alternate inversions of the events tugging at the collective reality, thus bringing us into the time travel operations and timeline battles. Here's some key players in this cosmic chessboard: Earth Alliance, White Hats Military, Space Force, SpaceX, CERN, NASA, DARPA, and JPL Labs. JPL, that's Jet Propulsions. You guys need to look into that. Project Looking Glass, Quantum Computation Technologies, Palladium Tech, Stargates, and portable portals. Outcast, this is just our kind of story. Are actively engaged in shaping or rewriting pivotal events, or, quote, do or undo specific key moments that would increase or decrease the possibility of certain collective events from unfolding. The outcomes of these timeline battles influence not only the now, but also ripple backward and forward across past, present, and future. The ongoing wars, political theater, economic collapses, and impactful global events are all scripted. They are narratives constructed to explain the visible chaos while the real world happens beneath the surface. The real work. The events we see on our screens serve multiple purposes for multiple entities, info leakers and receivers alike. Some distract, some create fear, drain energy. What are you seeing?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Just had a cough.
Others disclose or install seeds for the greater understanding, paving the way for future leaks and disclosure. Drops, codes, comms, and information are placed in plain sight for those with eyes to see and ears to hear, so they may understand the deeper operations taking place in the shadows. When a country suddenly, quote, collapses, or a, quote, terrorist attack occurs at the geopolitical location, most people see it as random violence or political failure. But those with eyes to see recognize the pattern. These events are carefully timed to coincide with shifts in the quantum field, with CERN operations, with portal openings, with the White Hats movements, or with the closing of particular timeline branches. Dang, this makes so much sense right now. The mainstream narrative will never tell you what a war was started to prevent a timeline from collapsing, or that a, quote, natural disaster was actually the energetic backlash of a Stargate activation, or that a political assassination was a timeline correction. The public consciousness is simply not ready to process these concepts. So the architects of this reality give the people what they can digest simplified stories of, quote, good versus evil, us versus them, democracy versus tyranny. Well, those are both tyranny. Anyway, but you, the awakened, the conscious, the ones who feel the shift in your bones, you are being prepared to see the script. You are being calibrated to perceive the real game. And that real game is not about politics, wars, or borders. It's about consciousness itself. It is about which timeline humanity will ultimately anchor into and how we actually arrived at the timeline we are on now. These battles are real. These operations are real. But the explanations you are given are tailored for a sleeping population. Anything yet, Outcast, before we move into the next paragraph?
No, I mean, it's amazing how thought-provoking this is on a lot of levels.
I know. All right, here's the next one. The hidden truth behind or beneath Switzerland. Oh, I wonder if it's going to get into what's buried there. We'll find out. Remember the Switzerland subterranean floods from a few years ago? All the covert activities, the Swiss banking system flip. Most people don't, but it did happen. White Hats military operations were extensive in Switzerland, and we are witnessing the aftermath of those operations. Should we watch this video here? It's like 2 minutes.
It's up to you.
Well, let's see if it's any good. We'll try it.
This collider and these beings that they're in communication with. So we're talking about the premier scientists on planet Earth right now who are actively engaged, according to their own words, communicating with something with a personality, in their own words, from another dimension. And that's the purpose of the collider. I mean, people need to understand, this is not science fiction. This is fact.
That's correct. What I write about in my novels,
right,
I place a storyline that is embedded with science fact. Everything that I present publicly in the books, public speaking, is all drawn from their own scientific journals and white papers. And then I'm able to see what they're doing. Not just extrapolate, but see in the real time what it is they're doing. Not a future agenda, but what they're doing right now today. The imminency of what they intend to do, which is opening this gateway. And understand that the world of science in terms of particle physics also overlaps into DNA, into biology.
Yes.
There's a multifaceted, multi-level agenda at play, not just with CERN, but it's proof of concept feeder labs around the world that feed into CERN. So we are talking about changing humans, changing the planet. We're talking about not only bringing in information through a portal, but we're also talking about definitively changing our way of life. This is a threat to our existence, to the creation of mankind.
A threat to our existence, a threat to the creation of mankind. So they're communicating with some kind of entity. You and I would believe that these entities are fallen angels.
Right.
Well, and this brings up Music Lover. She says, I didn't expect them to admit there are other dimensions. Yeah, I didn't either. I mean, that's something that we talk to in these lonely corners on the internet here of us conspiracy theorists, right, Outcast? But he said it. He said it finally.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I mean, we should continue. But I mean, yeah, you're right. Absolutely right. To hear him admitting it is fascinating.
Yeah. We're going to get into some good stuff that's on the ground there, on the in the front yard. All right, here we go. CERN has been identified as a secret entrance to the CIA's underground headquarters under Lake Geneva, reachable only by submarines traveling through a 275-kilometer tunnel that apparently begins in Genoa, Italy. This is one of the hidden key architecture of the deep state. Remember that satanic video that leaked from CERN a few years ago? The one we just watched, the crazy one, with cloaked figures performing ritual sacrifice in front of the Shiva statue. They tried to say it was a, quote, prank or a hoax after it was leaked. Well, no, that's because they got caught. They admitted
that video they're talking about is where they did they did a sacrifice in front of the statue of Shiva. It's different than the God.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Okay. That's a different one.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's stepping on the baby and all that. Okay. Yep. You're right. That's a good one too. All right. So where am I at? They admitted the sacrifice was staged on CERN's campus with CERN property, and they didn't, quote, didn't condone it. The Gothard base tunnel ceremony, the connections to Abaddon ascending, the great destroyer god imagery in their logo. It's all connected. CERN's, quote, research and operations is just the physical cover for the real operation happening underground. Here's another one, but we're getting ready to talk about Project Looking Glass.
Yeah.
Looking Glass is one of my favorite things. Yours too, I believe. So what is this right here? Should we look at this video?
I don't know. I didn't watch that video. I don't even know.
Let's at least check the opening of it and see what they're talking about here. Because it's like a 15. Well, this one's 11-minute video. So let's.
We can put a link.
One of the caveats that I do have some personal information.
This audio is weird.
That's Looking Glass. No, that audio is the Looking Glass whistleblower.
Okay.
Get personally involved in was some information that had to do with the Stargates and Looking Glass, and more specifically the 2012 problem with those projects.
Yeah.
The popular opinion of what's out there right now is that the project was shut down because there was a problem when we approached 2012. I've heard it described a number of ways, but to my knowledge, the problem is that the timelines converge on that point in time. And when you know enough about the Stargate projects and the Looking Glass project to know how string theory works and how the possibility of possibilities works and how making one choice over here doesn't necessarily mean that the other choice couldn't exist at the same time. But once you get your brain wrapped around this subject, you find out that at the end of 2012,
the Mayan calendar,
easy way to put it, the choices that we make become less and less consequential to the future.
I'm going to stop it right there because it goes another 10 minutes or whatever, Outcast, but I'll read what's underneath here. Do you want to throw in on this? Because remember, this was the year the Mayan calendar was supposed to end. And also, we talked about at the same time was the increase in knowledge was supposed to happen after 2012, if you remember that. So I'll keep reading this, but I just put the link down in all of the chat rooms. If you guys want to check this later, you can do that. I'm going to keep going because time is running sparingly here. Look, now think of Project Looking Glass. CERN is the countermeasure by the product of Looking Glass, the deep state's attempt to control timelines. And Outcast, you've talked about this in depth and detail on the show here. So at the end, it says they trusted Project Looking Glass to give them total control, but after 2012, it predicted they'd lose it all, and nothing can stop what is coming. It's crazy. But of course, they weren't going to go down without a fight. CERN was their attempt to blow it all up at the quantum level. This is why the symbolism in their deity worship was so crucial at CERN. They were trying to hack reality itself. Now we get into some good stuff here too. It says the light is winning. God wins. Outcast, do you have anything to throw in yet?
Not yet. No, I want you to get through this because this is good.
As the higher energy pours into the earth and light expands in the ether here, their deities have dwindled in power, much like how viruses, if you believe that, cannot survive in a highly oxygenated and alkaline body. The iron environment is no longer suitable. The physical and energetic environment on Earth is no longer suitable for the negative alien agenda. The Cabal's portal operations are being shut down, flooded by the forces of light, dismantled by the white hats, and exposed for what they really are. That's why they are panicking. That's why the Swiss facilities are flooding. They're cover up for the military operations that have infiltrated and neutralized the underground network. The Swiss facilities are being compromised. The tunnels are being compromised. Their portal to the underworld is being flooded. Their communication lines with the negative entities are being cut off. The cabal is on the run. The light is winning. But the establishment doesn't want anyone to know that. They need to keep people believing they're still in control so we can keep fighting with one another while they're still trying to figure out how to stop their collapse. They are desperately trying to maintain their illusion of control. Maintaining business as usual with fake numbers, fake money, and fake everything. Here's the final act, the great unveiling. The time is run out, not for us, but for them. Everything is breaking. The old world is crumbling under the weight of its own deception. It is Sodom and Gomorrah, and everything is on fire. And in this house, in this fire horse year, structures that once held the illusion together are fracturing at every level: financial, political, social, energetic. And what is rising from the ashes is not chaos, but clarity. Armageddon, revelation, and devolution. This is playing for keeps. But this is not a battle of weapons and armies. It's a battle of consciousness, a battle between the frequency of fear and the frequency of love. And love, my friends, has already won. The darkness only seems powerful right before the dawn, and the dawn is here. This is not about CERN or covert ops or timeline wars. This is about you, your soul, your purpose, your place in the cosmic unfolding. Every prayer you have whispered in the dark, every year you have shed in silence, every moment you choose love over fear, truth over comfort, integrity over convenience. It all matters. It has all been woven into the tapestry of this great awakening. You are not a bystander. You are a participant, a co-creator, a sovereign being of light who chose to be here now, to witness the anchor of this greatest shift in this planet has ever known. The higher energies pouring in are not just events. They are activations. They are awakening dormant codes within your DNA. They are recalibrating your auric field. They are preparing your physical vessel to hold more light, more love, more truth than ever before. And as you hold the light, you become a lighthouse for others, a beacon in the storm, a living testament that the old ways are over and the new world is already here. Here's those guys again from the beginning. Here's the recalibration journey within. The cosmic weather is fierce. Outcast, there's a whole lot of new age kind of talk here right now.
There is.
Yep.
Yeah.
The cosmic weather is fierce, and it's showing no signs of letting up. The matrix is uneasy as it can get, and it will get much more uneasy. The wonkiness is not ending anytime soon, but while devolution continues to pummel the old world, I have fully calibrated back to my Jedi Shaolin monk embodiment in Christ consciousness. It feels incredible, and still I am deeply and gratefully in this presence. That is what this journey asks of us, not to fight the storm, but to find our own center within it, to become so anchored in our own frequency that the chaos around us cannot move us, to remember who we are, not as victims of the matrix, but as sovereign creators of our own reality. The changes in our physical world are evidence of our quantum leaps. Reality simply reflects back as a mirror from our inner state of being. Stabilizing your own field and co-creating your personal experiences is the only thing you can truly do. And that starts with tending to your mind, body, and spirit. Activate heaven codes within and watch them bloom in the outer. This is why I've been with my soul bros. My soul bros, okay, that's who those guys are. This is why I've been with my soul bros, cold plunging, doing energy cleanses under waterfalls, soaking in the activated sun and light codes, prayer, meditation, mantra chants, sharing medicine, eating the highest vibrational foods, anchoring in the most powerful energy in our field. The divine masculine energy is fully present and activated. Full remembrance of who we are and our power. And the universe reflects all back to with peace, love, and blessings. Blessings. Is that correct right there? Blessings?
Yeah, I think that's not I don't think that's a typo. We could probably look it up. It might be a new age term.
All right. Nonstop cosmical experiences. We're getting right to the end here now. The codes are flowing. The light is peaked. The timelines are shifting. Keep your energy clear, your heart open, and your frequency high. Walk in the knowing that you are held. Rest in the truth that you are guided. Stand in the power that you are sovereign. The chaos is not your enemy. It is your birthing ground. The turbulence is not your undoing. It is your upgrade. The darkness is not your defeat. It's a time to shine your light. We are not waiting for a savior. We are the saviors. We are not seeking heaven. We are bringing heaven to earth. Hold your frequency, hold your light, hold your love. See you in the field with all my love and all my light and all my gratitude. And it comes down to this Drew guy, Drew86. Here's links to his social medias. That was the end of that, Outcast. What's your thoughts on this?
Well, it's kind of hard for me to articulate, but I'm going to tell you this. And I got some scripture too to back up some of the things I'm saying. I have a buddy of mine, an old roommate that used to live with me, and we share a sense of humor, and we're buddies, and we send each other funny videos all the time, and we talk about some deep stuff. But he is resistant to traditional Christianity. He was, I don't know if he had a bad church experience. He was an altar boy at one point, but for some reason he will not acknowledge a traditional Christian outlook. But he talks a lot like this, and I know his heart is in the right place, and I know that he is experiencing a wake up, much like we are. It's my humble opinion that there's a lot of truth in what this says. And where we have to parse through it is anything that does not magnify or glorify Jesus Christ is not from God. Okay.
Right.
So we have to be cautious about us. We don't need a savior. We are the savior. There may be truth in the fact that we are going to participate with the savior because we are the body of Christ, and we are going to be that feeling will be there, but it is not from us. It is from Christ, who was there at the foundation of the world. And yes, it says we chose to be here. That's partly true. What's missing is we were chosen by him to be here at this time before the foundation of the earth. So that means that we were, in my humble opinion, we were loyal subjects as opposed to the angelic beings who rebelled with free will against God. Those of us that were in the family before the foundation of the earth, we agreed, or we were assigned to be here, and we were happy to do so. We were like, yes, send me. I want to, because what we know on the other side is so amazing and so beautiful, and God, the creator, is so amazing. We want to help usher that in, but we are the hands and the feet of Christ. We are not the mind of, we share the mind of Christ, but we're getting our operatives from him, and that's where we find our joy. I hope this makes sense. But so New Age people, I think they've tapped into some real truths. They really have. They know that light is good, and they know that black is, the darkness is bad, and that we've got to make a change, and we got to get away from hatred, and they're saying the same things we are, but they're kind of removing Yahweh and Yeshua out of the equation, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When I was reading, I was like, what the heck are these CERN bros talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Amber Dawn says we are slaves of Christ. Absolutely. But we're joyful slaves. We enjoy it. It feels good when he uses us. Like when at the beginning of this podcast, and I said that, I prayed earnestly before I went to that camp out, because I knew I didn't want to adopt a spirit from anybody. I didn't want to adopt a spirit of gossip or anything else. So when I got there and I found purpose in talking to Jack, I was in just, it made my whole event to have that kind of loving conversation with somebody who is seeking, right. And hungry for more than what life has been offering. So we do enjoy these aspects that are mentioned here. We just have to understand where we get our strength and our power and our source from. So just I totally randomly opened up my Bible to 1 John 4, and what comes up right away, Jesse, and I think it's quite interesting. Dear friends, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God, because many false prophets have gone out into the world. This is how you can recognize the Spirit of God. Every spirit that acknowledges that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is from God, but every spirit that does not acknowledge Jesus is from God. This is the spirit of the Antichrist, which you have heard is coming, and even now is already in the world. So that reading this, I don't mind reading this stuff. I don't, and it doesn't make me think I'm not. It's not having an effect on my mind. It really isn't. But we have to test the spirit about what's going on. Now, another interesting thing that came to my mind is Revelation 20, and it talks about the 1,000-year reign of Jesus' 1,000-year millennial reign. Mm-hmm. Then I saw now the reason I think this is relevant is because when we watch the Gothenburg Tunnel opening ceremonies, you've got these like angelic beings that are ascending, and you've got dark, weird, demonic beings below. It's just kind of not too far off from what we talked about at the beginning of the podcast about the second heaven, and how there's this ongoing conflict. That was almost represented there. I think that some of those angelic beings may have been fallen angels, but regardless, the
Yeah.
Gothenburg tunnel seems avant-garde and strange. But then when you take the actual scripture and you weigh it against it, it's not that weird. I just see a correlation here. So hopefully this has meaning for our listeners. Revelation 20, it says, then I saw an angel descend from heaven, holding in his hand the key to the abyss and a huge chain. He seized the dragon, the ancient serpent, who is the devil and Satan, and tied him up for 1,000 years. The angel then threw him into the abyss and locked and sealed it so that he could not deceive the nations until the 1,000 years were finished. After these things, he must be released for a brief period of time. Then I saw thrones, and seated on them were those who had been given authority to judge. I also saw the souls of those who had been beheaded because of the testimony about Jesus, because of the word of God. These had not worshipped the beast or his image, and had refused to receive his mark on the forehead or hand. They came to life and reigned with Christ for 1,000 years. The rest of the dead did not come to life until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy is the one who takes part in the first resurrection. The second death has no power over them, but they will be priests of God and of Christ, and they will reign with him for 1,000 years. You know, it's interesting too. I was praying this morning, and I focused for a moment on the Lord's Prayer, and in it says, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." There is something about this. We may call it some people may call it simulation. However you want to look at it, this thing that we are trapped in, that has a timeline to it, which the spirit, when we're in our spirit form, we are outside of linear time with Christ, who is outside of linear time, right? This thing has value. There's a reason that God created it, because he created it to be perfect in the Garden of Eden. And because of the deception of the serpent, Adam and Eve forfeited their rights to Eden, and they were meant to toil for the rest of their days. Okay. But in the Lord's Prayer that Jesus taught us, it says, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth." That means that Christ is the second Adam. He has come to undo what the first Adam did, and they're going to bring Eden back to this place in that some kind of purification form. Okay. Yep. It is amazing to ponder. These a little bit more new age people, no offense to them, because I love them as brothers and sisters, and I pray that they test the spirit, and they recognize that Christ is the answer, and he is the key to this entire story that they have tapped into. They are feeling something. They are sensing something. It is real, because I see it and I sense it myself. They're just missing. They want to be little gods in their own eyes. It's a pride issue. It's the same issue the fallen angels had. The Elohim were lesser gods. They in God's divine counsel, and they rebelled in free will, and then they became the fallen angels, and they birthed the Nephilim, who the spirits of the Nephilim are the demonics. You see what I'm saying? It created a dark. So this whole dialogue has value, but we really have to try very hard to look at it through a Christian filter, a biblical filter, and test the word of God against it. I'm not saying it's all wrong, but I am saying that a lot of it I think might be right. It's just how we look at it. But it is a big clue. I think that those in power are freaking out, and I think that they know that something's up, and they want to change the timeline. That reference that the article made to the Shiva statue. Shiva is the Hindu god of rebirth through destruction. Yeah. When they realize that the destroyer, right? If they see that they are losing, that's their, as Israel would call it, that's their Samson option. They think that they can just blow it all up. Yep. They can blow it up, and then they're going to have a rebirth, and they're going to take control on the other side of this, possibly. But anyways, I think that all of this kind of very unusual thinking that maybe regular Christians might find strange, I think it has value. The test is you have to weigh it against the word of God. And if it diminishes Christ, weed that out of it. Look at it, what does sound like it might have value, and look for the scripture that it might tie into. Just a ramble. I hope that makes sense to somebody out there.
Yep. No, it's good. It's, I like what you did with it. Yeah. I like what you did with it there.
I didn't know what I was going to say, Jesse. I didn't until
that's all right.
God downloaded it on me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. 333 Truth says the ascension idea is also in the Bible too. But like you say, Outcast, they remove the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look, I put the link out there so you guys can watch that. And I think Music Lover said something about the link going into our Discord group or Discord chat or something. But Outcast, we covered a lot of ground tonight, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, you guys, if you guys like what you heard and everything, throw some likes out there, please. We need to tickle those algorithms. Wherever you're watching, YouTube, Rumble, whatever, click the like button, please. It does help us out when you do that. So go ahead and do that right now. But I don't know, Outcast. The final thoughts. I mean,
I kind of just did it. I guess.
Yeah, that's what I thought you did. That's why I had the logo up there. The final thoughts on the screen. So,
well, you know, and here's some other thoughts too. It's like I don't know where I saw this. I don't know if it was one of our text threads that said this. It might have been Jack Pine Savage for all I know. But somebody is claiming that those stars that we're seeing in the sky, that they want us to dismiss them as satellites. But there is a did I freeze up again?
No, you're good. You're good now.
Wow. Every time I'm getting ready to say something
I
wild.
know.
Okay. So one of our groups was talking about how I might have been Jack Pine. I can't remember who it was, or maybe Music Lover, but somebody said that there's a theory that those stars we're seeing in the sky that are moving aren't satellites, but rather that is an indicator of the portals that they've opened at CERN. Those are entities, you know, beings of light that are moving around in the heavenly, in the first heaven realm. It's possible. Like I said, I mean, how is it that like I make a point to look in the sky 2 weekends in a row and I see falling star 2 weekends in a row?
Yeah,
it's just
I
what
know.
are the odds?
I know. It's crazy, man. Amber Dawn says, hey, love y'all. Have a blessed night, early morning. Have a blessed week. Yeah, you too. Don't forget about our we have another release coming out midnight, July 1st. Our Independence Day extravaganza show will be there on the audio. So if you guys want to check that out, check your audio podcast players and it'll show up there for you. But yeah, okay, so that was crazy. Let me see. Music Lover says, oh, that wasn't a theory I shared, but that's interesting.
I mean, it is. It's compelling because something's going on. I'm telling you. I mean, it's just weird out here.
I know. It's getting crazier and crazier, like weeklies or daily, whatever you want to say. But it just seems like I tell you what, there's more action in the sky currently at nighttime than there has been of myself growing up. And I used to watch. Me and my dad used to watch crazy stuff in the sky back in the 80s on the hood of his old 56 Buick. It's just nuts. But there's some stuff right now.
Yeah. Now I will say this was a remarkable thing that happened to me when I was very young. I think I was only 12. I think I went on a survival trip into Canada and we had this 30-foot long Viking type ship. It was like a giant canoe and we rode on it all day long and we would sleep on different islands on this giant Canadian lake every night. And we had we didn't have tents. We had very little provisions and we had to figure out how to, and we all lost weight. I mean, I lost 10 or 12 pounds on that trip because we were eating off the land. It was crazy. It was intense.
That sounds fun to me.
It was an experience of a lifetime. My best friend, Tony, went with me on that trip. And we've talked repeatedly about, we need to document it and write it down and maybe make our own Stand By Me type movie, but with a Christian theme to it because it was a church camp we went with. But my greater point is this: one night on that trip, we said to our counselors, "Can we pack up our stuff and row in the night instead of row during the day when the winds are calmer?" They said, "Sure, all right, cool." So we set an alarm somehow. I don't know how we did it. Maybe somebody had an alarm on their watch or something. And we woke up and we packed up our stuff in the dark and threw it on the boat. And it was, I'm telling you, Canada, you can see every star in the sky. It's beautiful. Yep. and my best friend Tony was chosen to sit on the front of this giant canoe with flashlights and yell starboard and bow because there's rocks everywhere. And it would sink this boat.
Wow.
So we had to steer around the rocks.
That's crazy.
Anyways, so you're rowing and you're looking up and you can see the entire Milky Way. It is crazy, dude, what you can see up there in Canada.
That's awesome.
And one kid goes, "Oh, I just saw a falling star." Another kid goes, "Me too." Another kid, "Me too." Me too. Well, it turned out of all the nights that we decided we asked to stay up and row at night, there was a legendary meteor shower that night. And we saw thousands of falling stars all night. Just
dang.
And that was the night we picked to row through in the middle of the night.
Wow.
So I feel like I'm starting to feel pretty blessed to have had some pretty special nighttime experiences, especially lately. It's It feels similar.
I like
almost.
it. Yeah, pay attention to the sky, you guys, when you're out there at nighttime, especially. I mean, daytime it's hard to see stuff, but at night you can see stuff more. But get some military MVGs, you might be able to see a lot more. That'd be great if we could.
Dude, the sky looked like our background. That's what it looked like in Canada.
Oh my gosh, that's
I'm
awesome.
not kidding you.
I love that
That's
background.
what it looked like.
I love
it
that
looked just
background.
like that. I am
Dang.
not kidding you. It was no exaggeration. That's what it looked like.
Awesome. All right, listen, we've come to the end. It's late. It's late, brother, is what I'm saying. We have to do the show outro. So listen, you guys, just click like and all that stuff, please. It just like I said, it helps us out in the algorithms and all these things. So please do that. I'm going to end the show. I'm going to start it here, but I'm going to end it with a little bit of audio that I've been working on. I'm not going to say what it is or anything, but you will hear it again after even tonight. So that just pay attention to it real quick before we go. All right. So Outcast, I just want to say thank you to our supporters tonight, everybody out there in the chat rooms. Thank you for being here tonight. I had a good time with you guys messing around here. It's been great. Please share the show with your friends, your mom, your dad, and all them. All right. They're going to love to hear it. If you guys listen to somewhere else, please leave us a 5-star rating and review, like, on iTunes, Spotify, CastBox. Don't forget our item of the week was the Septuagint. The link is right there. You guys go check that out. The LES. Get that thing. The Lexham English Septuagint. Let me see. Oh, Outcast. Somebody said, look, you got fan mail is what I'm seeing. Chris says Outcast. He says
it's Chris. I know Chris. God bless you, brother. Good to hear from you. I'm sorry that I've been quiet on the chat lately on our text thread, but Chris would like to maybe talk to us, Jesse, on the show sometime because he's a Gulf War vet.
Oh, all right. Yes, maybe we'll talk about some stuff. Yeah, I like that. I like it a lot.
He's seen some
awesome
stuff.
Okay, I'm down. I'm down with that. We'll hook that up with Chris behind the scenes, and let's hook that up. So yeah, Shelly Pollack says, everyone have a great week. Happy 250th birthday, America. Yes, Independence Day coming up soon. Have a great night, friends, music lovers. She says, thanks for a great show, you guys. Yes, thank you so much. I'm going to release the scratching over here on pill.net right now. If you guys are out there, enjoy the scratching. There it goes. And listen, join us here live every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. All right. Also, don't forget, we have that special bonus episode, the extravaganza, coming out on Wednesday, July 1st at midnight. It'll be there only on audio only. Don't look for it for a video because it's not a video. I don't think I had a camera running back then, Outcast. I don't know. Maybe I can look, but it was all done by phone calls and stuff. It was crazy, but it's a good one. I think you guys will enjoy it. All right. So listen. Let's go to our outro scene because I like this sky right here too, Outcast. Look at that. I just want to say thank you guys for watching so much. It's been a good time for us. Hopefully it's been a good time for you. Do not be threatened by the mainstream media mere fear campaigns. Rescue those in darkness around you. Do not comply with unjust laws, mandates, or regulations, and trust your gut always because that's God talking to you is what I'm saying, brothers and sisters. And it's, Outcast, I'm getting ready to play it right now. I'm going to pull this music down, and we got something brand new. You guys will hear this again at some other time, too. So, God bless, brothers and sisters. I want you to stay dangerous.
Right, being in this house, he went into the basement, and he's putting a box up on the shelf. All of a sudden, he hears, hi there, in a female's voice. He FaceTimes me, and I'm like, you look like you just saw a ghost. And he's like, talk to me.
And there was a shadow of what looked like a man in like a hat, and it walked past the window. My heart's racing. I grabbed my 357, went to the back door, and I remember thinking, dude, as soon as you open the door, man, you might have to kill this dude.
So I opened my eyes, and there was something standing at the end of my bed. It was just a dark figure. I could feel my tears falling down the sides of my face.
He would leave his body and would look at himself sleeping, and then he would wander out his front door, and it was the same landscape as where he lived, but without the houses. Like pre-construction. And the further away he got from his body, the colder he got. And he felt like he was getting detached. And he'd run back full throttle, jump into his body and wake up. It's more common than people know. We're just not encouraged to talk.
I constantly feel like I'm being watched.